What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here, live with the Patreon members of the Bottom Line View, as well as a new guest. We have Eddie. He's also in the chat because Eddie has created the intro for the Bottom Line View, the intro song. It's going to be the #1 hit in the world. Every country, bro. #1 hit, the Bottom Line View. So we're going to dive into some predictions. I know there was a lot of hater comments out there. I mean, just, your predictions suck, Mitch. You're so biased. This, that, and the other thing. So we're going to get into that. If you guys have any complaints about my predictions or you want to call me out live, that's why I'm here. So take your shots, okay? You're going to have to take multiple shots because I don't go down easy. And then we're going to get into the Patreon members. They're going to give us our predictions, or their predictions, I should say, for the playoffs and for whatever, the regular season, however they want to lay it out. I know that there are some pretty wacky ones, especially Durcant. So we're going to get into that. But let us know in the comments, what you guys are up to. Any questions you have. It's also going to still be a Q&A. So let's share the chat and let's get into it. So boom. Pull it up.
What's
all right.
up? We got
now you guys, what's up, guys?
What's up?
You guys got to help me defeat my worthy foes and find some bases while we're at it.
Yeah, so Durcant is playing Kung Fu
Panda.
over here.
You know what's funny?
the
Like you
Xbox
you guys say I'm too old to play Kung Fu Panda, and the thing is, like, you know what I feel like? I never played Kung Fu Panda, but you know what I feel like I played that's exactly the same game? I don't know if you guys ever played this. Maybe you're too young.
What?
Shrek, bro.
Yes.
Shrek 1 and 2 I played. I don't know if I played Shrek 3. I don't remember. But those games were awesome. And I feel like Kung Fu Panda is exactly the same. I don't know if Eddie played those.
It was all right. I mean, I don't remember that much.
So Eddie maybe played it.
Well, how old are you guys?
I'm 16.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you're 16. I'm 18, so, I mean, Minshew was really Rookie of the Year, and Josh Allen should have been defense. Okay, whoever Life of Superstar is, thank you very much.
All right.
Josh Allen, Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Wait.
Let's get to the chase. What do we think of Mitch predicting the Ravens to win the Super Bowl?
Hey, right now. Right now. I don't know if that's for sure.
As of right now.
He's going to change to the Patriots before the season.
Yeah, obviously. I'm going to... I mean, the more that the Lion keeps showing me these hype videos, bro...
You're going to pick the Lion to play the Lions in the Super Bowl.
Yes, that would be the greatest Super Bowl of all time. The Lion versus the Lions.
Yep.
So what do you guys think? Honest reactions. I know Durcant hates it.
I think the Ravens will make it to the Super Bowl, but I don't think they're gonna win it. I think they're gonna lose to like the Saints or something like that. Because
it's winning a big game.
Because I feel like Lamar will finally get a couple of games in the playoffs, but then choke it at the end.
So I don't know about that.
Busboy, how far do you think the Steelers are gonna go?
Well, depending on the matchups. I think we'll probably make it past the wild card round to the divisional, and then we'll have to see who we play. But it depends on who we play in the divisional.
I know you were the most mad at me. You left a full hate comment in caps, bro. You went all caps.
Because
you said
him and Turtle were going at it.
I need to pull this comment up. Busboy, you got some explaining to do here, Busboy.
Turtle wrote a whole
listen. You had the Patriots going 8-8 before they got Cam Newton, and now they added
They added the Lion.
They added a regressing older QB coming off a season-long injury, and he has.
Are you describing the Steelers, Bus?
Yeah, Busboy.
What's Ben supposed to be? What's Ben supposed to be?
But we actually have targets. We actually have targets, though.
Juju, that's it. I mean, that's all I know.
You have Juju, Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, Vince McDonald, Eric Ebron.
Chase Claypool? Are you kidding? He's
87
overall.
He's a beast.
He went to the Catholic school, Notre Dame. That's
Oh,
the
we
only
do
way
have
he
a
went
comment
to.
from Nicholas Gill.
Uh-oh.
So
Uh-oh.
He
no.
said,
Uh-oh.
God.
he
Is it
said,
about my diss song?
kinda deleted my Discord, so it's an L for me.
Dude, it's
That's another L.
for him.
Another L.
He's
He's
racking
taken
up the
so
L's.
many L's.
Let me find
He's
this
like
comment from
Owen High
Busboy.
Punchman.
I'm trying to find this.
I just got the dragon scroll.
So, funny story. I was in my car. I was driving my mom to the store, and I literally had my Bluetooth connected, and my
Oh, no.
in the car, like the Bluetooth will start playing like automatically, and the Nick Gill disc just starts playing, and she's like, who? and she's like, who is this Nick Gill guy? And I'm like, oh, he's just some
Oh
kid
my
in
God.
Discord. It was the funniest thing. I go, this guy thinks the Jaguars are going 6-10. She looks at me, she goes, and she doesn't know much about football. Like she knows football, but not like in depth like all of us. She's like,
Yeah.
the Jags ain't going no 6-10.
So you are
She knows they're not going
a
6-10.
Jags fan then. You are a Jags fan.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So
diehard
how
Jags
do you
fan.
feel about me saying 2-14? Because that must be a little rough.
For once, I actually want to lose this year. I really want to get
Okay.
someone like Trevor Lawrence in there because, listen, all the hype that Minshew brought to us last year was great and all, but if you get somebody with a bigger name like Trevor Lawrence, that could be through the roof for us. Maybe more superstars will want to come play with us, like some receivers, some tight ends, some O-line that want to block for him. And I just think that 2-14 is a good record, I think, at the end of the day.
What if you get like a Justin
All I'm
Fields,
gonna
though?
say, Trevor
I-
Lawrence is better.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but like
Trevor
say
Lawrence
they
is the best
say they win
prospect
more
in this
games
league.
than we expected them to, and get like what the 15th.
I mean, I think the Jags could win like probably max 6 games.
Oh
Probably
yeah,
max.
definitely.
But like,
I didn't
I think
they did
I
that
don't know if you
last year.
disagree
right?
with what I said in my predictions, but I look at the team and I'm like, okay, yeah, they're gonna go
good.
2-14 or 4-12 or whatever, but like if they get a
It's
good
very
quarterback,
young.
they get a good quarterback, all of a sudden they could be a 10-win team next year based on what they have on their team right now. I mean, I don't think
Yeah,
that's
I think
crazy.
of it as the year before the Jags, the 2017 season. I think of it as, I think they went 5 wins the 2016 campaign, and I thought they have a good roster. They're just too young. They have a lot of good rookies, but they got to develop them. And then once that second or third year comes in, when they start heading into their prime, they're going to start clicking. And I think the Jags in a few years, if they get Trevor Lawrence, if they get a few more pieces, I think they'll be in good hands.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
they
I-
would have won the Super Bowl in 2017 if they didn't have the 70th best quarterback.
They could have
Miles
had the
Jack
62nd
did it
best
in-
quarterback and they might have won.
Also,
Li-
Miles Jack wasn't down. We're
Listen,
not gonna get into that.
I was in the chat last night and I never watched the highlights for that AFC Championship game. For the
Mhm.
first time in my whole entire life, I watched the highlights yesterday and it was rough because I was like, I was going based on what I saw during the game because I watched that whole game, and
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, yeah, he really wasn't down. I have the T-shirt still. It still says Miles Jack wasn't down, and it's just him getting
He
the
wasn't.
fumble, him getting the fumble, him down, him getting up, and it just says Miles Jack wasn't down, and
You know what's funny
it's
is
just crazy.
the Jags would have won the Super Bowl with either of the Patriot backups.
Wow.
Am I wrong to say that they would have won the Super Bowl with Jimmy
Yeah.
Garoppolo or Jacoby
yeah, they
Brissett?
probably would have.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Probably could have won with Matt Schaub, to be honest. That's how bad.
Okay, I don't know
Matt
if I'd go that
Schaub.
far. But let's say hi to the guys in the
Nick Wardle had a
chat.
decent year.
Let's say hi to the guys in the
Okay.
chat. So Mr. Sings in the
Whatever.
chat. He says, hello, Mitch. Connor is first, so we got to give him a shout out. Connor's a new subscriber, but man, that guy, he's in there every time. He's beating Nicholas Gill like he's lapping him right now. Braden is in the
I've
chat.
lapped
Uh-oh.
Nicholas.
Braden is also a guy that's consistently in the chat. So what's up
I
to
feel
him?
like, wait, hold on. I feel
Okay.
like
Oh,
Nicholas
busboy.
Gill says, okay, sorry.
What are you saying?
I feel like Nicholas Gill says the dumbest things just to get like people mad.
See, we're talking about him right now.
He's
So
like the 6'9" of the
Nicholas Gill just said the Jags.
the BLV
Yeah.
squad.
he's just copying his idol Colin, you know?
He's just trying to
Yeah.
get clout.
Listen,
Opium.
the Jags would have won that
Colin.
game if the refs just didn't screw it up. It could have been 27 to
I
10.
don't
Yeah, it would have
know
been 27 to
about
10.
that, bro. I haven't
You don't
seen the
know
game
about that,
since it
but still.
happened, but I don't know.
Yeah, I
He
don't
turned
know.
off notifications, Mitch.
But I will say this, like, in defense of the Jags, you could tell, like, just by the celebration of Brady and Belichick, how much it took just to win that game for them, because they literally, I've never seen Belichick celebrate that much in his life. Dude, the guy was
I thought that was going to be his last run.
He thought it was a miracle. Because you look at that Jags team, and they were the best team on paper by a mile.
100%.
If they had Matt Ryan, they would have won the Super Bowl.
I don't know. He probably would have lost 28-3 or something like that. Opium says, "What's up, Mitch? Is there any way I can get some opium in Canada?"
What?
I have no idea. I would have to ask my mom's boyfriend about that. I can help him out with that.
Wait, I'm confused.
Turtle is
Mitch,
flexing on the chat.
Can I ask,
What?
Mitch, why does Party think we hate the Colts?
Okay,
Because
I don't
he's
know.
too high on
Dude,
them.
I just
don't know.
literally predicted them to go 10-6 and win the division. And this guy is saying I'm
predicted
hating.
them to win the division too.
That's
It's
like
because
what
we. It's
everybody.
They're gonna win the
said the
division.
20. It's because we said
Yeah,
the
they're better than the
2014
Titans.
Colts like weren't a great team.
The
or something,
2014
and
Colts
they
were, I'm going to say it live for the chat. You can record it, whatever you want. Hey, it is recorded right now. The 2014 Colts are the worst team to make the AFC Championship since I have watched football, period.
Yep.
That was the end of. Never mind.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, that was the Deflategate Patriots team they
Okay,
played.
just go down the list of teams that have made the AFC Championship. Is there a worse team to make it than that team? The reason they made it is because they played the Broncos and they beat the Broncos during the regular season. They had the upper hand, and that was the beginning of the end for Peyton Manning.
Yep.
How about the 2013 Patriots?
They beat the Colts by like 30 that year.
Yep.
Not true.
So I don't know, man. Like, they made it because of luck,
2010
Hilton, and because they played the Broncos.
2010 Jets were good.
Yeah, they beat the Patriots.
Yeah, they beat the Patriots. I remember watching that game. My mom
They were
is a
pretty
diehard
average
Jets
in the regular
fan,
season.
but she also likes the Packers because Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
but
they
still,
were
like,
they were like
in
the
that
Jags.
community.
They were like the Jags.
They were.
Wait, your mom's a diehard Jets fan?
They had Mark Sanchez.
Yeah,
feel bad for your
I'm
mom.
looking at the AFC championship game list. Chiefs, Titans. I'm just looking down here. Yeah, San Diego Chargers was they were good, but if they could have had a dynasty going. I think if they would have gotten something going there, they were.
Are you talking
pretty
about
decent team.
07?
The 06,
07,
07
yeah.
Chargers were probably won back to back, but they just lost
They
to
would've.
the Patriots.
The Broncos in 05, 06,
Mitch
I think.
loves those teams.
Oh, yeah, the Broncos, I mean, they're another team that beat the Patriots. Whenever you beat the Patriots, I'm going to give you a little bit of credit. I'm just going to be honest.
Yep.
But, I
Nah,
mean,
I'm
on
talking about
paper,
05,
they weren't
06.
fantastic.
Except the 09 team. I'm not giving them any credit.
Oh,
for
yeah,
beating
the
that team
09
because that
Patriots
team
were
was
pretty
not very
horrible.
good.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But,
All right,
yeah, like,
so
the Broncos, I don't know. They had Champ Bailey, so that's enough for me.
Yeah, Titans in
and
02,
were the
03.
2019. How great were the 2019 Titans?
Not that good.
They beat the
Not
number
that
one
good.
seed.
I think they were. I think
But
they
the
would.
number one seed
I do think
came in
if the 2019
too young.
Colts play or if the 2014 Colts played the 2019 Titans, I think the Titans probably would have won.
Oh yeah, definitely.
See, I think that too, because they just would have ran the ball.
Yeah.
If
That
Derrick
team,
Henry
that
was
that 20.
unstoppable.
He said the 2014 Colts were better than the 2016 Falcons.
Oh, that's a freezing cold take.
Oh, definitely.
Nicholas thinks I hate the Bears. Okay, so we can
Bears are
burst his
terrible.
bubble here. Can we just all go around the chat and tell him why the Bears are not good so he can get off my back for saying that they're not good?
2 words:
I'll go
Mitchell
next.
Trubisky.
Can I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Ultra.
Okay. So whether Foles or Trubisky plays, either of them will be bottom 5. No run game, one good wide receiver, terrible offensive line, good front 7, I'll give him that. But the secondary has a lot of holes, and Matt Nagy is nothing but an average coach, and he will not elevate this team to winning a bunch of games. Plus, they play a hard schedule. They play the NFC South. So
Yep.
6-10 sounds about right for the Bears.
I could just play the whole diss song right now, and I could literally state everything why the Bears suck.
Mitchell Trubisky over Pat Mahomes.
No.
Could have had him since 2031. You alone.
I believe, says Josh Allen, wins Super Bowl MVP. I know that someone in here has the Bills in the Super Bowl.
The
He
Bills
just said-
are
okay.
very underrated. I think
I
the
don't know
Bills are
who.
very underrated.
Should be when are we
Elite.
going through our predictions then?
Okay, the Charm City player, I'm just going through these comments. If you guys see any good questions, let me know. The Charm City player said, why do people think the Patriots defense isn't going to be good? Because they're acting like the people they lost in free agency were the best. I don't know if that's a good description of it, but yeah, I mean, I think if you think the Patriots defense is not at least going to be good, then you're probably using the word that people call me biased, but I mean, that's like they lost. Okay, so this is the way I look at it. They lost Jamie Collins and Kyle Van Noy and Daron Harmon. Those are the 3 players that were important, on Danny Shelton, to the defense. But they replaced those players with at least adequate replacements, rather in the draft or in free agency. And you got to look at like what those players are. I mean, they're linebackers, a nose tackle, and a third safety. So they're not exactly the starting corner, an edge rusher in a defense that needs edge rushers. Like, this defense lost Trey Flowers. They lost Chandler Jones. Like, Belichick has gone through much better players, and they've been able to come back and replace these players and play at a high level. So, I mean,
I agree.
Like, it's the secondary. If the secondary was absolutely just shredded and they took Gilmore away and they took Devin McCourty away, then I would be concerned. But because it's not the secondary, that is why I think they'll still be a good defense.
Yep.
Yeah, they'll obviously be a good defense. It's just I haven't seen anybody say that. I've only seen people say that they're not going to be an elite defense, like top 3, top 5.
Am I saying they're going to be one of the best defenses in history, like they were through the first half of the season? No, but they're going to be they're going to be in the top 5, I think, personally. But
I think they're borderline. Plus, they do play a harder schedule this year than they did last.
I say around top 10. In my opinion,
Talent-wise, they'll probably not be. They're not top 5.
statistic-wise, you kind of, when you look at all defenses, you kind of need to play a bad schedule to have a statistically amazing defense. In today's day and age, you can't just be like, it's very rare. Like, I would say like the 2015 Broncos, and that was like, I mean, I think even the Jags didn't really play a tough schedule that year.
No, we didn't. We did not. I was just about to say, I think our hardest few games were basically like division rivals, and our division wasn't even that good that year. I think Andrew Luck got hurt. I think that year. Mariota was decent. They made the playoffs. I think they made it to the divisional round, and they lost to New England. And then Houston, they went back and forth. I think with Watson. I think Watson got hurt. They had it wasn't Osweiler. I think it was I forgot who it was. I think his number was 3 or something. I remember because it was the first game of the year. And they benched him. They put in Watson, and it was just a very easy schedule. We had some games where we lost. I think we lost our last 2 to Tennessee and San Francisco.
You guys got shredded by Shanahan too.
Oh yeah, I remember that game. And
choke artist.
and we lost to Blaine Gabbert in the Cardinals. I was like, are you kidding me? Blaine Gabbert,
the superior quarterback.
Blaine Gabbert still handing the Jaguars L's, even in a different uniform.
Yep.
Did anyone
That's
else?
Why I was shocked. We made it that far.
I don't think the Steelers' schedule last year was that hard to either, because but we had a
The
pretty good defense.
Steelers played the NFC West last year.
Yeah, but they played the San Fran and Seattle like relatively early, right? They got shredded by Seattle, and that was before.
Yeah.
You know, they traded for Minka, and they played New England in week 1. They lost San Francisco in kind of like a weird game. I remember that.
Yep.
The Cardinals
I
like
didn't get to
Like
I didn't get to watch
turnovers.
that game because I was on the road.
the Cardinals
like
and
10
the Rams
turnovers
were
or
kind of weird offenses because their offensive lines were so bad. So like occasionally they'd have really
Yeah.
good games. Like the Bucks destroyed the Rams. Do you guys remember that?
That game was it was like
Zach
they had like
Barrett had,
55
5
points or
sacks.
something.
Mhm.
That
Oh,
game
it
was crazy.
55-40. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was a
55-40.
crazy
That
game.
was crazy.
Jack Barrett had like 5 sacks in that game.
Listen, but I think a big
Jared Goff
debate
had
now.
like 3 interceptions or something.
Yeah, I think a big debate now is like, did the Buccaneers really upgrade at the quarterback position, or did they downgrade basically? Because you think of Brady as the GOAT, but 43 years old, he's starting to wear down a little bit. But people are saying they downgraded, but other people are saying they upgraded. So that's another big debate on
Who's saying
going
they're
into the season.
downgraded outside of Turtle?
Honestly.
I mean,
I think Turtle
Only
was the only
Turtle
one.
thinks Winston is better than Brady.
Here's the thing,
nobody
though.
actually thinks that.
You don't know though. Like I don't know what's gonna
Like,
come about
okay,
the season. You don't know.
like Winston made a lot of big throws, and I agree with that. But like for every big
Yep.
throw, he made just as many dumb mistakes that cost the team. Like
Yeah,
Brady's not going to
The
make those
Texans-Bucks
mistakes.
game.
Brady
I
won't do that at
rewatched
all.
the Texans
Chris
Bucks game
Godwin's gonna
last
be
year.
Julian
It was
Edelman on
a
steroids.
comedy of errors. It was hilarious.
The Texans game is the greatest game of the 2019 season.
I
Go
know.
back and watch that game.
It was the
Yeah.
greatest game of the decade.
It was
I think the
hilarious.
greatest play of the decade was the pick six against the Falcons. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, that was a terribly
He
thrown.
I think that was his
he ended the
30th.
season with a pick 6. That's pretty
I there was some Buccaneers fan. I was at a restaurant and I just start
Highline
laughing
Nicholas.
so hard at him. It was great.
Buccaneers fans existed before Brady and everything.
No, I know
Opium-
a few Buccaneer fans.
The
I know a
pathetic
few.
fans.
Yeah, there's a
Opium
bunch-
said,
yeah,
Mitch,
there's-
give your thoughts on the Madden 21 beta. So I know Eddie
was
also
good.
played it. Yeah. It was solid. Like, did you play it, Durcant?
Yeah, I did. I'm not gonna buy it for $60. I'm gonna wait for it to go on sale.
Oh, really? Interesting. So this is kind of what I
like
thought.
it.
I thought it was decent. I mean, like, I don't think it was like a huge difference from Madden 20, if I'm being honest. It was a little different. The things I liked about it was I felt like the tackling was like as advertised. It was very smooth and a lot more realistic, and the open field stuff was a lot better. Just the way they moved and those kind of in-between plays, like the way that a guy brings a guy down in real life, it was realistic. The crowd response, I thought, was the best part of it. Like the most fun I got out of the game was listening to the crowd, like during like when you're about to snap the ball and you're calling your audibles or hot routes or whatever, and the crowd is legitimately, like doing chants and like hyping themselves
it's
up
great.
and stuff. It was like kind of reminded me of NCAA in that way as well. What else did I like?
I think
just
from my
presentation wise, it was a lot better. But gameplay wise,
The
I mean,
intro
they
was the
toned
best.
down the run game at least, and the pass game seemed a little OP. But what did you think, Eddie?
Personally, I liked it. I feel like they're gonna do more, like graphics and gameplay wise, going into the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. So I think this is gonna be like a Madden 20.5 sort of game, while they just work out the kinks of it, and then they get the full game experience once the PS5 and Xbox Series X comes out. Because I remember playing, I think it was Madden 25 for the 360, and then once it came out for the Xbox One, it was a totally different game. There was different graphics, different gameplay styles, everything, and that's why I think it's going to happen there. But overall, gameplay wise, the one thing Mitch said before with the chants, I noticed it the most when I played in at a Arrowhead, where
Okay.
they would do the their little chant. It's
Yeah.
not. I don't think they did the exact chant because it's for copyright purposes, but it was sort of like it. And I thought that was really cool. The new intros are amazing. I like
yeah,
how
they
they
go
have
hard.
that. Yeah, I think I was taking pictures. I'm not allowed to take pictures from the actual game from the screenshot button, so I was taking it from my phone, and a lot of people were saying the intros were amazing. I actually got to see the new stadiums, the Rams and Chargers stadium and the Raiders stadium. It looks beautiful, and I feel like a lot of people didn't get a chance to see that because they didn't realize that, hey, you could change stadiums. And I was like, let me see if they got it, and they did. And overall, it's just smooth. The tackling, like Mitch was saying before, was realistic. The play calling was realistic. I like how the
Yeah, I agree
kickoff,
with that.
they have different kickoff camera now. They have like it zooms
Yeah.
in on their foot
Yeah.
while they kick it off. They have different
Oh yeah.
yeah, I thought that was really neat. And then they have it where they show the routes while you're in play, so it'll show you where to go while the play is actually running. So if you're running a zone play, because I usually play with linebackers. If you saw the game against Mitch, I usually I use my user with my linebacker, so it'll show me, hey, you got to go on this side of the field or this side. So I thought that was a good good new techniques that they put into the game.
So Nicholas is quitting the
So-
BLV community.
Wait.
Bye-bye.
So.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Hey,
Whoa,
man.
yeah.
You missed.
Nicholas,
whatever.
why, bro?
Traffic.
Man,
Bye,
That's like
Nicholas,
if Mitchell Trubisky quit the Bears. It wouldn't make that much
Nicholas
of an
hates
effect
me
on
that
this thing.
much, bro. Look at this.
Bye bye. I
Oh,
wonder
think
if
it's-
Josh Allen is gonna.
Party.
Why am I high on the Lions? I'll get to that in a bit, but before we get to the Lions
I-
take,
Can I talk about
Really underrated.
the Madden 21 beta
I
real
can-
quick?
Oh yeah, let's hear
did
your
you
opinion
even
on that,
have it,
man.
Ultra?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I got it. Due to the invalid code because the dude that
I
did
know
it
you
was
loved it just
fucked.
because Atlanta.
And
I know-
my boy Turtle kind of hooked me up there, but
Oh, okay.
I thought it was. I kind of agree with Eddie on the point it was Madden 20.5 because Gronk was a 57 overall.
Yeah, he was.
What? He
I
was
remember I was looking
dominating. I
through all
scored
the-
like 4 touchdowns with Gronk.
I
But
think
the
they
Bucks
say
were fun.
54. I think they
And
say
obviously,
57.
The
Falcons
Bucks were fun
uniforms look
because you
better
could just go in
in-game.
5 wide and they're all stars.
Oh yeah,
The Falcons uniforms were better in game than they are.
in real life. Yeah, I remember showing you that.
But,
It was beautiful.
I do like some of the features they added. I still think they have to develop more into the game. Obviously, they haven't done it fully yet because, as I said, Gronk is a 57. And,
Franchise
other
mode.
player rating. Lamar Jackson
They'll
is like
update
a 92,
that, though.
even though he's the MVP. But yeah, I agree with what they said.
I think they did it where it was just the Madden 20 ratings,
Yeah,
but they changed it
like
up a
the
little bit.
latest Madden 20 rating.
Yeah, and I think what they did for rookies is that they didn't show their official overall because I don't think they wanted them getting leaked out that early or Gronk's overall getting leaked out that early because I think that's a big debate because I do the Discord franchise league, so I know in the Madden 21 roster, I know the guy that does it. He put Madden 19 Gronk's rating on there, and he was a 99. So a lot of people were like, "Don't make Gronk a 99. He's going to be at least like a 95 or a 90." And people were saying, "Oh, 85 and this and that." And that's why I think they wanted to
85
save
is fair.
that. Yeah, that's
It
why I
depends
think they
where
were
everyone else
saving that,
is.
Yeah.
Gronk being gone for a year.
Madden recently, can I just say, Madden recently has like underrated players. Like, there's not enough 99s.
There's not. I think they really try to go low because I think they got criticized so much for, overreacting to different players during their primes and stuff. I think I think Madden 16 started the downfall of Madden when they started doing the aggressive catches through the air and all that. This is my personal opinion, like with the whole Odell Beckham phase. And ever since then, I think they're trying to bounce back, just trying to listen to the people, but I think they're doing it the wrong way. Whereas what we're saying actually makes sense. Whereas what they're saying is, you know what, we'll do a little bit of what you're doing, but we want to do what we want as well to make the game better in our opinion, but really that's not the case.
I just
They
think
need-
Madden
they need
is
to add, like-
Madden has focused a little bit too much on MUT.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
They want to make money.
It's understandable, but at the same time, can we just make the game better?
100%.
They need to
Let's
add
go.
like 99 overalls for kickers and fullbacks and punters.
No.
They should.
They used to have 99.
Tucker
overall
should be
kickers.
90-90.
Kickers used to be
99.
95 overall. plus.
Like-
Overall,
like
Kyle
Justin-
Juszczyk, all pass.
Kyle Juszczyk
Yes.
99, Justin Tucker 99.
Fullbacks are people too,
I-
guys.
I swore
Anthony
James
Sherman.
Devlin used to be like a 95 overall.
Overrate
Patrick
him a
Ricard.
ton.
Patrick Ricard had a high overall last season.
Yeah, guys, join
Yeah.
the Discord in the description. You'll find the Discord. Also, you can join the Patreon if you're not a patron right now. Subscribe for exclusive content, and also you can join these chats. So, let's get to predictions, guys. So you've seen my
Let's get
predictions,
it.
record predictions, and a little bit of a quick playoff preview, which is not my official predictions just yet. Those will be at the end of August, but they're my predictions as of right now.
If
So
this is season. If
let's
this
start.
is-
Let's start off with who do we want to start off with here?
I'm going
Let's-
last.
From bus to ultra.
Okay, let's go Bus, and then Ultra, and then Durcant, and then Eddie.
Yeah.
What do I start with?
Whatever you want, man. Lay your predictions out. The people want to hear.
Okay, so the Patriots. Wait, do I just say like what I didn't like about your prediction?
No, you say your prediction.
No,
I
you
think.
say your. Do you have your predictions or no?
Prediction.
I have it, but I forget where they're at. I don't like I had them in a thing where I forgot where I put them at.
Oh, so you don't have.
Do you want it to be? Do you want it to be like every game, or do you just want the team and then their record and just like a brief description of why?
Hold on. Let me try. You guys go first. I'm gonna try to find where I have.
All right.
Okay.
Um,
Let's go. Durcant, go ahead.
All right, bet. So you already know who's winning the AFC. You
Oh,
already
The
know
Jaguars.
who's going to be the surprise of the NFL. You already know the team that everybody's sleeping on because there's one team in their division that's getting hyped up, but they're ignoring the actual best team in that division.
Okay,
That is
yeah.
the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are getting the number 1 seed in the AFC. I don't care what anybody says. People will say that is impossible and that the Ravens or Chiefs will get it. I will say this. People said the same thing about the Ravens last year. There's always that team that skyrockets that nobody sees coming.
I mean,
It's
I
gonna
see
be the
it
Browns
coming,
this year.
Durcant, but
13
they're
and 3,
coaching.
Cleveland Browns.
I can't
Yeah.
pick a
Fans
team to
get-
skyrocket, then I don't believe in their coach, man.
The fans get. You see, people said this. People always talk about how Freddie Kitchens was the main reason why they were bad last year, and they ignore how him being gone is going to elevate the team. Stefanski is already going to be a huge upgrade. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt their running game's going to
Yeah,
be
but what
scary.
about
I
Baker?
thought it was a
Bounce
kicker.
back. Baker should be better, and their defense is going to be pretty good because they have a lot of underrated talent there. The Browns are getting the 1st seed in the AFC.
Ugh.
Woohoo!
Baker's got to be way better than last year.
I'm telling you, I always use like basketball comparisons in a way, or any other sport. The Browns last year were literally the 2012-2013 Los Angeles Lakers, in my opinion. They were so overhyped. They had really good players, and then at the end of the day, they were just
Nah, you know what happened is Steve Nash, he had a
Got
suitcase. He
hurt.
walked upstairs, and then he hurt his back walking with a suitcase. That's what happened.
I remember that.
What an idiot.
right.
All right. Next.
Number 2, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes.
You don't even
got-
need to
Patrick
describe.
Mahomes,
Next.
12-4.
We already know
Number
Mahomes.
3 at 11-5, the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, here we
Because
go.
They added
I agree.
added
I
Stephon
agree.
Diggs, elite defense. Yeah, but
Yeah.
their schedule is rough, so it's gonna be very hard for them to get possibly that number 1 seed. Everything would have to go right for them to be that good. But they are a very good team. They're gonna get the 3 seed in the AFC. The number 4 seed will be Party Parts Indianapolis Colts because the division is just declining rapidly. The Titans lost Jarrell Casey. The run defense is suspect, which means that the Colts should be able to just run all over them because they have Quentin Nelson. And their run game is going to be insane with Marlon Mack and Jonathan Taylor. Their defense is very underrated. They have one of the best front sevens in the league. And the Texans, they fell apart last offseason, so the Colts should get the 4 seed at 10-6.
Okay.
And don't
Number
forget,
5,
Morgan Ryan is
the
gone.
Baltimore Ravens at 11-5, because this team went 14-2 last year. Everybody has super high expectations on them. I do not expect their style to be able. I do not expect them to repeat anything near that last year. They will take a dip in wins because the division's getting better, and they'll probably. I have them as a wild card because the Browns are going to be very good next season. 11-5 for the Ravens. Number 6, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers at 10-6 because they have arguably the best defense in the league. Big Ben, I don't care what anybody says about him. He's still a major upgrade over Devlin Hodges. They have offensive weapons and they still have a great O-line, so they should be. I can't really see a scenario where they do actually suck.
Diego, I'll get to your
And
question in a sec.
Number 7, I have the Denver Broncos at 10-6. I'm buying into the hype. It's not even about the offense. It's not about Drew Lock. Well, it has something to do with Drew Lock. I think that they have a balanced run game with Phillip Lindsay and Melvin Gordon. They are wide receivers. I think Jerry Jeudy is going to be the best wide receiver from this draft and is going to have an immediate impact. Noah Fant is really good. Courtland Sutton is really good. Their offensive line actually improved, like adding additions like Graham Glasgow. But I think that their defense is going to be – it can be scary good next season. Bradley Chubb is coming back. They added Jarrell Casey. They have Justin Simmons and Kareem Jackson is one of the best safety duos. And Vic Fangio is a defensive mastermind, and he's going to get the most out of this defense. So that's what I think.
The Broncos are the team in the AFC that it hurts me not to put them in the playoffs, and I probably am going to find a way to put them in the playoffs eventually, but we'll see.
I agree
I
too.
don't think I heard one team from the AFC.
Bills.
Oh,
Oh,
who's that?
Oh, who's that?
What was that?
Hello?
What happened?
What was that?
Damn. Attack of the Aliens 2.0. Anyways, yeah, the Patriots aren't in there for Durcant. Understandable. He had them going like 6-10 every year they won the Super Bowl. So, you know, who's next? Who's drowning underwater? Is that Ultra?
That's Ultra. Mike's like Mike was
I underwater again.
Oh, is Ultra back? Is he drowning?
Huh?
Someone's. Oh man.
Oh no.
This is tough.
Busboy, do you have your predictions?
Hear me now.
I'm almost
Can you
done.
hear me now?
I'm almost done.
Yes, Ultra, you're kind of in and out a little. You seem okay though.
Just do me last. Do me like third or
What do you
fourth
think
last.
about-
I'll tell you when I'm ready. Hold on.
What do I think about Durcant's predictions?
Yes.
I mean they're solid. I think the Patriots should be in there, but other than them, I don't really disagree. I mean, I can't disagree with. I think the Browns. I have them in the playoffs, but I can't say they're better than the Ravens. I just think the coaching advantage is just too drastic, and I think the quarterback advantage is too drastic, and I think the defense of the Ravens is going to be amazing. Like I think it's going to be. I think it might be the best in the league. Like the combination between the secondary,
Underwater.
yeah, a little bit. The secondary, the coaching, And now adding Calais Campbell and Derek Wolfe to Matthew Judon on the edge and all they can do with their schemes, I mean, that defense is going to be really, really good. So I think that Lamar is going to take a step back in terms of his stats, but I think he's actually going to become a better passer. And I think the offense might not be as dynamic, but I think they're going to be able to lean on their defense a little bit more. So that's why I think the Ravens are just that good. And then I think the Steelers are probably – it's between the Steelers and the Browns for the team that I feel like least confident in the picks that I made to go to the playoffs. The Browns are one of the more talented teams, and I agree with everything you said. The most important aspects of football, the coaching and the quarterback, are probably the bottom of the list on the teams that I have making the playoffs. So that's what I feel least confident in. The other picks, I mean, the Bills winning the division and making it makes sense to me. What else? The Broncos, I like that pick. The Steelers, I can get behind. What else? I mean, they're all good picks.
I don't think I did the NFC, did I?
No, you didn't, but I just went over your AFC picks. So go ahead, do your NFC.
All right, the number 1 seed.
The Lions.
I don't know if this is a shock to you. It is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, wow.
I have them at 13-3.
Oh, you know what happened, Ultra? You know what happened? He realized the greatness of Tom Brady after he left. You notice that?
Yeah.
No.
Something about him being in the same division.
Yeah, something like that.
All right, so I just think that their offense is really, really explosive, and I think that that's what propels them over the other team in their division that some people have. Being that great, the Saints, their offense is just going to be super explosive. They go downfield. They can beat you underneath. Their run game is really underrated. Their offensive line is really underrated. And their secondary has some holes, but they have one of the best front sevens in football, and it won't be as exploited. It won't be exploited as much since Tom Brady will be turning.
Everyone says you're underwater, Ultra. You got to fix that. Maybe go back and go out and come back.
So I think that the Buccaneers are going to go 13-3 and be the first seed in the NFC getting the first division. But
What the hell?
That's my clapping.
he's clapping.
Why are you clapping?
For the Bucks. Anything else?
All right, so as far as my second seed goes, I actually have the Dallas Cowboys at 12-4.
People are going to hate you, man, because people hate my pick for the Cowboys.
Man, I don't care. I've dealt with it enough. Yeah. The Cowboys, I think that the reason for their defense declining last year was actually it wasn't anything to do with talent. I think it was just due to lack of motivation. I just think that they just absolutely gave up on Jason Garrett, and I think that even if he's not a great coach, I think that just adding a new face and a new look is going to get them motivated again and have them playing better. They still have a lot of talent. DeMarcus Lawrence, Jalen Smith, Leighton Vander Esch. They have good defensive tackles like Gerald McCoy. Shadobe, I think I said his name right. Awuzie and Trayvon Diggs. Yeah, it should be a solid duo. And
their corner
offense
position is not as top-heavy as it was with Byron Jones, but it is deeper.
Yeah, and I think that their offense is just going to be amazing. Like, Ezekiel Elliott is still he's not like a top 3 running back anymore, but he's still a stud. They still have some great offensive linemen, Zach Martin, Lyle Collins, Tyron Smith. Their offensive line is still great. They have amazing receivers, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb. And Dak Prescott is he's good, guys. And to all the haters out there, Dak Prescott is good. He's a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah.
So I can't really see a situation where they fail, because I know that last season the reason why they flopped so hard was because of Jason Garrett and the the team just not believing in the guy. So I think that adding in Mike
And
McCarthy will just
things
help.
like situational coaching, terrible kicker play, which they fixed that position as well. A lot of minor
And
things.
also-
I mean, how does a team that's ranked in the top 10 in offense and defense not make the playoffs? There's something wrong there.
Yeah. But I also think, in my opinion, I think Dak's just going to ball out to try to get this money because now he's going to see that, hey, you know what? Mahomes is making $45 million a year. He has a $500 million contract. I wanted less money. Now I feel like I'm worth more or just about the same. I'm going to just ball my ass off this year just so I can make that kind of money because they don't think I'm worth it.
How are teams going to stop the offense?
Water.
Yes, you do. You got to leave and come back.
It's
Room in
really
my
good.
house.
They
Okay.
can run, they can throw.
How
they
do
can
you
do
stop the Cowboys offense? I would
Gotta
like
have a
a
good
hater
defense.
to respond to that comment. Also, we have a comment saying Dak is barely top 10. Well, if he's barely top 10, that means he's definitely top 12. So, I don't see the argument there.
So wait, if he's barely top 10, does that mean that he's 9 or 10 then? Or I don't know if I'm reading that right. Barely top 10. If
Yes,
he's
but that
barely,
still
does not
means
mean
that means he's really good, right? If he's barely top
Yeah.
10.
Yeah. I'd rather have a barely top 10 quarterback than a barely top 15 or barely top 20.
Ungodly Hot Soup says, hot take, Packers start really slow, 0-4, and switch to Jordan Love due to Rodgers' injury or just underproduction. Wow.
They don't start 0-4. There's no way they're starting 0-4. I don't think. Once you see my prediction, you're going to see why they're not going 0-4. But they are not going 0-4.
Jacob's a top 5 running back this year, possibly. Yeah, I think well, I had him, in the top 10 this year? So, I think he'll be, let's say top 7 safely, but maybe top 5. I don't know. We'll see. If he starts catching the ball more, he could be top 5. Durcant, what's your other predictions? You got your top 2 seeds. Did he leave? Can't hear him. Ultra, you sound like you're underwater, bro.
Okay, is it better now?
Yes, it was for a second
Yep.
there.
Okay, is it better now?
It goes in and out. It goes under. It's like
Like
someone's
you're
literally
popping
trying to
your
drown
head
you
up.
underwater.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they're pushing you down and then you're coming back up.
Oh my gosh, you won't believe what just happened.
Busboy, what happened?
I was refilling my playoff predictor thing out for the season, and it took me to some website. I went to go back, and it just restarted my whole thing.
Party says Josh Jacobs will be Offensive Player of the Year.
No.
Sports Today, who wants me to make a Matt Stafford video, says 1 Bucks 13-3, 2 Seahawks 12-4, 3 Lions 11-5, 4 Oh my
What
goodness!
the hell?
Is there an airplane in this chat?
It's the Jets. Here comes Sam Darnold.
No. Oh my goodness.
Dude, that's gonna be the end of me.
Yeah. That sounds like
Ultra, I
the Nick
can
Gill,
hear you now.
the Nick Gill response track.
He says Eagles 4, 10-6,
No.
5 Niners 11-5, 6 Saints 10-6, and Cowboys 7, 9-7. Okay, I'm going to answer this question from Diego because he's asked it 4 times. So he says, could you see the linebackers being the lifeline of the Raiders D, and can Corey Littleton help the Raiders have a better control on the passing game with Kelsey, Eckler, Fant, Gordon, and the AFC West? Yeah, well, I think, Diego, to answer your question, that's the biggest reason they signed him, is to be able to be better coverage-wise in the middle of the field, because their linebacker position the last couple of seasons has been far too slow and not a good enough in coverage. So,
And
to me, that's what he does best. That's what he does best. He's fast. He can, roam the middle of the field almost like a safety. He really has quick pursuit and just makes great tackles. I think he missed like 0 tackles last year, some ridiculous stat like that. So to me,
Oh my god.
he is really good. He's a top 10 linebacker, and he'll make that defense a lot better. In terms of the linebackers being the lifeline, I think it's going to have to be the safety position, because that safety position to me is the best position, I would argue, on their team, like in terms of depth. I mean, the offensive line is good, but when just looking at one position by itself, the safety position with those guys and the versatility they offer, from certain ones being like linebacker types to others being free safeties to guys like LaMarcus Joyner being nickel guys, I think it's really, maybe you could throw in a combination of the linebackers and safeties. If those guys can really perform, that's going to make their front a lot better and ultimately their defense a lot better. So we'll have to see, man, because the Raiders are a team that I think have improved a lot, but I just look at that schedule and I say, that's so hard. I just don't know if they can get over that.
Okay, can you hear me now? I had some technical.
Yeah. Were you on mute or something? Because it seemed like you were talking, but we couldn't hear you.
No, I just had.
I don't know what is with the technical difficulties.
Yeah, what is with the technical difficulties? All right, did you hear my number 3?
No.
Yeah, it was the Cowboys, right?
Cowboys were 2.
No, that was the number.
Oh.
All right, the number 3 is
Seahawks.
at 11-5. The Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, I heard that.
All right. Number 4.
Why do you have them over the Niners? Can you just explain?
This was his Super Bowl pick,
Okay.
like not long ago.
I think the Niners are just gonna have like one of those years where it's like the hangover seasons. I just don't think they're gonna be that good.
Maybe. I mean, I think it would have to be if Jimmy just falls off a cliff.
Okay.
Mitch
you can
thinks
hear-
Kyle's too good for that.
I think Kyle Shanahan is too good.
The 49ers. They're like a weird team for me because I feel like they're like really balanced, but they also
They lost a lot.
Like they lost Buckner. And they obviously replaced him with Kimball, but he's not gonna play at a second team All Pro level.
Is one defensive lineman going to take them from being the best team in the NFC, though?
Well, they lost Sanders, and I don't think that
They lost Sanders. They lost Marquise Goodwin. That's their speed right there. Debo Samuel has a hurt foot. Mostert wants out.
Yeah, they lost all their running backs.
Okay, this is what I think is going to happen. Mostert is going to re-sign. They're going to give him more money. Debo Samuel, they'll miss him for the first half of the season. He'll come back. But they did draft Brandon Ayuk, and they're getting Trent Taylor, and they're getting Jalen Hurd back. So I don't think Emmanuel Sanders was that big for that team, honestly.
I mean, he did miss he did get overthrown at the end of the game in the Super Bowl.
To be
so.
fair, though, that offense is just basically Kittle and Kyle.
Pretty much.
And I think
I
Ayuk
just-
could be pretty good.
But I don't think his first year he's going to have a big impact.
I don't think
his
he's going to
first
be
year. He's not
amazing,
gonna
but
be
I think he
like
can make
Marcus Brown.
plays. Same with like Kendrick Bourne, who made plays. That's his
Yep.
first name, right? Kendrick Bourne.
He's not going to be
Defense.
like Hollywood Brown type material in his first year, Ayuk, but he could be decent. I mean, he's not going to be the
All right,
best receiver.
And the
Let
defense
Durcant give
is
his takes. I feel like
yeah.
we've
I
been
just want to say
interrupting
like the defense really, they lost Buckner, but it's still arguably the most talented on paper.
Oh no,
I do
it's
think
nothing
that
about the
Sherman's gonna
talent.
replace
It's
him.
just
I just think
Super Bowl
Sherman's-
hangover.
Yeah, I think it's the hangover. I think they're not going to, really recover. I look at it as, how
If you
did
look
the
at
Falcons?
talent-wise, it's them or the Ravens.
Yep. I look at it
Talented
also
team.
like how the Falcons,
But
how their season was the next year, because
but I
it
think
was a
that's
Kyle
a Dan
Shanahan
Quinn
team.
thing, and they
Still
lost
made the
Kyle.
playoffs.
True,
Yeah,
but I mean
Jimmy is
but
in
they
Matt
still-
Ryan, and they don't have the same
But they-
level of playmakers.
but they
Plus the
still blew a
problem-
lead in the Super Bowl in the fourth quarter. How is that going to how is that mindset going to carry over to the next season?
It's fair. It's
You know.
fair. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Big Kyle Shanahan fan.
All right.
Number
I'm,
4.
I'm almost done. My prediction is one more person can go before me.
This is Mitch's team, the Detroit Lions. Because
Let's go,
It's-
Durcant.
it's not that I'm like super high on the Lions. It's just that I'm super
Yeah.
low on every other team in the division.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. That's part of the reason I'm going with
Like
the
the
Lions.
Bears, the Bears,
Somewhat
their
agree.
defense is really good, but their offense is just god awful. And Matt Nagy and Trubisky and Foles, I don't care who the quarterback is, they're just going to be abysmal. The Vikings, they lost a lot. They've got through a lot of roster changes, and they have a lot of rookies in the secondary. Kind of scary. And Dalvin Cook's probably going to hold out. And without Stephon Diggs, that passing game's not going to be as good, which means that losing Dalvin Cook would hurt even more. Packers, they did get worse in the season. They didn't improve at really anything. Outside of Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones, they have nothing really to offer on offense. I do think Aaron Rodgers is declining. I don't think he's the same Aaron Rodgers that we're used to seeing. The defense is good, but they didn't really add on their biggest holes. And the toxicity in that locker room just doesn't sell in like games by like the hair on their chinny chin chin. And usually that doesn't carry over unless you're the Seahawks. So I have the Packers 8-8 and Vikings 8-8 and the Lions 10-6. So
Yeah.
I do think the Lions are going to win the division. They're not going to win the playoff. They'll win the NFC.
Because Stafford will never win a playoff game.
Hey,
Nope,
quit it.
never will.
I think he will later in his career. I think he'll win maybe one or two.
I think
Or he
what's
has
gonna
a magical
happen.
run.
I think what's gonna happen is the Lions are gonna let him go after this year, and Cam's gonna go sign with the Jags for a 3-year huge
No,
contract.
he's not. He's not going.
Matt
Cam isn't
Stafford.
signing for the
Matt
Jags.
Stafford is gonna go to New England and win the Super Bowl in 2021.
I always say if Matthew Stafford was on a different team, that team would be so good. You put him on Green Bay, you put him on a team like I don't know, like Philly or Dallas or any
Dallas.
contending team.
San
If
Francisco.
Dallas had
Snapper.
Stafford right now, I'd say they win the Super Bowl.
Oh, definitely they would.
What do you mean? There's
Indianapolis.
not-
If he was on Indianapolis, he would be
Stafford-
good.
No.
Yeah,
I
probably.
don't think Stafford's better than Dak at all.
He is though.
He
Yes,
Right.
They're at
My
the
number-
he's the
same
most
level.
underrated quarterback in the past 10 years. I think Matthew
Listen
Stafford.
to
Oh,
this,
look-
he's
man.
a top. He's
I really
top 10
think.
quarterback for
Listen,
the decade, for sure.
He is. Listen, my dad who watches football, like he's the same with my mom. Like he watches it, but not big, but not too little. He knows more than my mom, definitely. But he always says to me whenever they show the Lions game, he's like, I like that Stafford guy. That Stafford guy is good. I'm like, yeah. Like if he recognizes that a Detroit Lions quarterback is good, that says something. And I have a Matthew
He's good.
Stafford shirt. Like I think Matthew Stafford
What?
is just he's the most underrated person or player in the last 10 years. I'm being honest. And there have been a lot of underrated players.
Eddie for saying that.
He really is. And I feel bad for him that he's in that situation. It's like a bunch of Mike Trout on the Angels right now. You know, I'm using baseball into this, but you know, of course Mike Trout's the best player regardless in baseball right now, but he's seen as a very good player. I'm not saying, you know, best or worst. I'm not saying Stafford is the best player in the league right now, which he's not. And I think Mitch will probably agree with me on that, even though we both think Stafford is very good. But at the same time, it's like you're on a bad team, so you're not recognized as as an elite caliber player because
I
you're
don't
on
think
that
people realize
terrible
how
team.
much. I don't think people realize in football because the quarterbacks always get all the credit, like how much your
Oh yeah,
team
definitely.
and your coaching actually matters. Like
It's
sure,
not just them. Like everyone looks at just the quarterback or the coach, and they don't look at the other pieces. Detroit. They
don't look at something as simple as the ownership and how terrible
definitely.
Detroit's ownership has been.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
Ever since
Detroit's a bad
their owner died,
organization.
like it went downhill. ever since Martha Ford took over, and now she's gone. So
Didn't
maybe
they, like,
that's an
wasn't the
upbringing or
last-
something.
When was the last division title they won? Like 91?
With
Something
Barry
like that.
Sanders when he just went off for like 2,000 yards.
Like Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson both retired. I feel bad.
You should
All
do
right.
like what if videos. I feel like what if Barry Sanders stayed in the league? What if Calvin Johnson
that'd be-
stayed? Like I'm thinking about doing that for like a YouTube type channel. Like what if what if the Falcons didn't? What if the Falcons ran the ball? What if? And here's the thing that I always say. I feel like
The
if
Falcons
Julio,
ran the ball then.
no, you know what I think it is? I think because Julio made that catch, that made the Falcons think, oh, we could just throw the ball more. If Julio doesn't make that catch, the Falcons win. The
What
Falcons
down
win the
was
Super
that?
Bowl.
Like,
Okay, I just wanted to say I got my prediction.
People think I'm crazy for that. If Julio drops that ball, he does not make that catch. He's not in bounds. Whatever the case is, it's incomplete regardless. The Falcons win the Super Bowl. I'm telling you right now, they win that Super Bowl.
Yep.
And that's just like a crazy thing to think, but
no, but
once
we were
once I get in
playing
depth
that
about it,
all we had to do was run the ball twice.
Hey,
get it
man.
stuffed, and kick a
That's the way it
40-yard
goes,
field
man.
goal.
You only play
31-20,
one game.
Falcons win. But of
Yep,
course,
you
'cause
gotta
it's the
make the
BS
best decision.
Patriots, they
Yeah.
always win the lucky games. The D Ford call, the Miles Jack
Oh,
call,
here we
the Seahawks.
here we go.
Well, what about
Why don't you
Tyree
listen?
and Manningham and
Tyree Manningham,
Malcolm Butler not even
Philly-
playing?
Philly special. Listen,
Bro.
No,
listen. Here's what.
I'm kidding.
Listen,
Okay.
here's why
goes
I was
both
not
ways.
as upset as I was,
Saying
as
what
I
their
should
camp
be
is
with the Patriots beating the Jags. I recognize greatness, and listen, refs rigging the game regardless. Who cares about that stuff right now? Because that doesn't matter. You just got to respect Brady and Belichick and what they've been able to do in 20 years.
all respect for them.
And listen, they had some lucky plays. But listen, there's a lot of other teams that had lucky plays. You're a Steeler fan, right? Who was the Steeler fan?
Steelers have had a million lucky. They've had more lucky plays than
Santonio Holmes, Lynn Swan, the dropped pass in the Super Bowl by
Franco
what's his
Harris,
name?
bro. They don't even
Franco
see
Harris.
the ball.
They don't even. Raiders win the Super Bowl if Franco Harris does not just make that crazy catch. There have been a lot of teams that just have lucky plays, and that's just why it's called luck. Luck is for people that don't have the talent to win, and a lot of teams that have that luck really didn't have the talent to win. Nobody thought the Giants would win that one Super Bowl. They had a lucky play. Same in 2011. The play against the Seahawks, Malcolm Butler did his homework, read the play perfectly, undercut that route, interception. If he doesn't do that doesn't have that lucky play, they're in the Super Bowl. Or we're saying that Jermaine Kearse had the lucky play, and we're doing a vice versa there.
But what
it's just luck.
Something as simple as this, though.
And the Ravens are probably back-to-back Super Bowl champions.
I don't know if the Giants would have lost against the Ravens in that Super Bowl. I think
they
the way the Giants played ball that year, and I watched all the Giants games that year. They just, because that's when I started getting into football. Really, is that season is they ran the ball. That's why they won that Super Bowl. Basically, is because they put Brady on the sideline because Brady was that offense was really good,
and they
not
didn't
the
have
best
Gronk.
like. 07.
God.
They didn't have Gronk. They had Hernandez, and Hernandez played pretty well. That's why he got that $40 million contract the next season.
Nicholas Gill just said, "Why does this Eddie guy sound like a cool dude in real life, but a complete idiot on Discord?"
Tell him to show his voice.
Show his voice. I'm being
Nicholas,
totally
you're
honest
invited
here.
to this chat, bro. You could come in, but I agree with all of your points. I mean, just think about something as simple as Tony Romo fumbling a snap on a extra point.
Yes.
How often does that happen? 1 out of like 1,000 times? Like,
yep.
Like, what if the refs don't screw the Lions?
What if the refs didn't play? What if the refs didn't make the whistle? What if the refs didn't blow the whistle on the Miles Jack play? What if
what if the Jesse James catch is called a touchdown?
Look at just the 20.
The Jags play. The Jags played
2014 playoffs by itself. You go down the list. Like
deflate. You have the Lions game,
Cowboys,
the Packers, the Packers game,
Packers, Seahawks.
Indianapolis.
Oh my God.
That was the
What if
crazy.
heaven?
It is. So is the 2017 playoffs too, and I'm going back to it a lot. What if
What if Julio made that catch in the red zone against the Eagles?
what if
what if Randy Moss catched the Hail Mary versus
What
the
if the
Giants?
Stephon Diggs play didn't happen?
yeah, what if he made the
What if the
tackle?
Saints won?
No,
What if Gronk tackled Kenyon
Are the Eagles
Drake?
still ringless? No,
Oh, well.
Think about it. What
if
the
Mariota
PI
didn't
call
make that
versus the
catch?
Rams- What if the PI call versus the Rams doesn't happen? Do the Saints win back-to-back Super Bowls if the Diggs catch doesn't happen and the PI call doesn't happen?
No,
I
'cause
don't
they would have lost.
think so. I think no, they would have. I don't know. Here's the
They
thing.
would have lost.
What if What if Mariota doesn't make that catch against the Chiefs? Do the Chiefs win and they go play? I think they would have played. No, they would have played Pittsburgh. They would have played Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
They were
I
the
love
3
how
seed.
we have
Jacksonville would have
Pittsburgh.
played New England.
Predictions.
Jacksonville would
I
have played
love
New
how
England.
we have went from. I love how we have went from Durcant's predictions to the what if scenarios of the decade.
Okay.
That's what makes football and all sports so great is the what if questions is because you don't know, and that's why I say we always got to appreciate.
Terry doesn't make that kick versus the Rams.
It wasn't the Rams. It was the Raiders. Got to go back to the Raiders game. The Raiders game. That's the one that matters.
The greatest field goal in NFL history, bro.
That's the greatest field goal.
Okay, I just want
Does
to
the
say
Patriots dynasty never start?
What if Cam dove on the ball?
Yeah, what if Bledsoe
doesn't get hurt?
That's a big one. What if Cam dove on the ball?
What if Mitch never started the bottom line view? What if that?
Oh,
What if okay, here's one that I think is going to be a big
lot of
one
things.
coming the next few years, seeing, and I'm not being like a psychiatrist here or anything, but what if Vontaze Burfict did not helmet to helmet Antonio Brown? Does Antonio Brown, do they beat Denver? Because I think they could have beaten Denver. They could have beaten New England. You don't know about that, but what if going a few years later, does his mood swings happen? Does he stay with Pittsburgh? Does he not get crazy too much? Because I think
I think he'd still be playing in the NFL.
Last year.
He would. Yeah. I think that hit changed everything. That hit changed everything. That's another big one. They could have went to the Super Bowl. I think Brady and Antonio Brown had a big chemistry going. I think they had a big chemistry going.
Oh, I thought you meant 2015.
Oh yeah, no.
Should we get back to the predictions then?
Yeah, I don't know where Durcant went.
My predictions are ready. You're right.
Yeah, mine are as well.
All right.
Durcant's having
mine are ready, but they're not my official ones yet.
Nobody's official predictions.
Yeah, I always do my official. The Wednesday. The Wednesday of the season starting. So the day before the opening game, that's when I do my official prediction for the year.
All right.
I always put my thing in a note card in a safe, and I open it up at the end of the year.
I feel bad for the Raiders. I wish AB was healthy and he could have went there.
Yeah, right. Frostbite. Yeah, Frostbite. That was the funniest Madden curse. The Frostbite engine. He gets Frostbite.
Ultra, give us your predictions. Better, yes, it sounds exactly like a 16-year-old girl. It's perfect.
The AT&T girl.
What? Thank you, Ross, for the $2. I don't see you in the chat very much, Ross, but thank you for the $2. And he says, what if Marlon McCree doesn't fumble? And I would answer by saying they would have won the Super Bowl. They would have beat the Colts. I have no doubt about it. They would have beat the Bears, no doubt. I said this in the chat in Discord. I think the 06 Chargers was one of the biggest what-if teams in the history of the NFL. And they just played Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. That's the only reason they lost, and the Troy Brown fumble, and that was it. If they would have lost that, if they would have won that game, they definitely would have beat the Colts. I have no question about it.
They could have won back-to-back Super Bowls because they were just as good in 07.
Yeah, they just played the 16-0 Patriots. But, I mean...
Mitch, I just realized we have the same mic right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have the. I think that's the Blue Yeti.
If that '07 Chargers team played in pretty much any other year from like 2005 to 2010, they probably make the Super Bowl.
All right,
Yep.
should I say my predictions?
Go
He
ahead.
doesn't hate the Colts party.
The Patriots
should
should
I
have
go?
beat the Colts, but Riche Caldwell couldn't catch the ball. Okay, get out of here. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, should I give my predictions?
Yeah, go.
Oh, that's a funny one with Parky. What if Parky makes the Nick Dill? What if Parky makes the kick? Double doink.
Who would they have played?
They played the Eagles. They missed the
would've
field goal.
They
would've played the
They would have
Saints.
played the Rams.
No, yeah, they would have played the Rams.
Oh, they would have
Ooh.
beaten the Rams.
They would have beaten the Rams. And then the Saints would have went to the Super Bowl because there's no way they're beating the Saints. Would have been Saints Patriots,
Yeah.
and that would have been a shootout. That wouldn't have been a low scoring game at
No, it
all.
wouldn't. Brees was playing like ass at the end of the year. What are you talking?
It would have just knowing those two teams, it would have been a shootout. You could just tell
Okay,
right off the bat.
Keep getting sidetracked.
All right, do your predictions. What if Julian Edelman doesn't make the catch in the Super Bowl?
It was on first down, so I think they would have been
my
fine,
AFC.
but I don't know. If it was
My
intercepted, that's
AFC.
different. But go ahead, Ultra.
Okay, so my AFC number one seed, this is not necessarily me. I'm picking them to make the Super Bowl out of the AFC. But my number one seed is the Baltimore Ravens. I have them at 13-3. I just see a lot of strengths with this team. They've returned the reigning MVP and Mark Ingram, who I thought complimented Lamar Jackson really well last year. I do have a little worry about the receivers, but I mean, Marquise Brown should be better this year. And Devin Duvernay, I feel like, can be just as good as whoever they had last year.
Hey,
And
don't
they
disrespect the man,
Mark-
Willie Snead.
Willie Snead is good. He
Yeah,
can catch
true.
a lot.
Miles
Mark
Boykin, the
Andrews is
GOAT.
one of Mark Andrews is one of the best tight ends in the NFL. They have one of the
Whoa.
best tackle duos in the NFL, and their interior offensive line isn't great, but it's solid enough. I do think DJ Fluker is a pretty solid guard. So their offense is going to be top 10 again, maybe even top 5. Defensively, adding Calais Campbell and Derek Wolfe will
That hurts.
improve this defensive line a lot. They now adding them to a defensive line that already Williams, who is one of the more underrated tackles in the NFL. He was really good last year, and he's honestly had a pretty good career. They just have a very talented defensive line. I do like the Patrick Queen pick in the first round. I think will help add to their linebacker core, and they have one of the best secondaries in the NFL. I think Mitch ranked them second, and they're second or third for me for sure. And John Harbaugh is one of the best coaches in the NFL. The Bills are my 2 seed at 11-5. I think I'm
Wow.
the highest.
You think 11-5 is going to get the 2 seed?
Whoa.
I do because I have the 2 and 3
Hold on,
seed.
warning. Can you
I
hear
have
a Durcant? Can you hear a Durcant?
Yes.
I don't want to, but I can.
Okay, good. And I know you do know you want to.
Okay. So
Keep going.
I have the 2 and 3 seeds as the Bills and the Chiefs, and I have the Bills winning the regular season matchup. So that's why they're the 2 seed. The Bills, for me, I think Josh Allen is going to take that step up. I think Stephon Diggs is going to really help this offense. Their offensive line isn't the greatest, but it's pretty solid. I do think it'll be pretty solid this year. And their defense is one of the best in the NFL. Kansas City Chiefs, 11-5. I do think their record will be a little worse than it's been the last 2 years. Tougher schedule. And I also think that division's getting tougher now. But Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Super Bowl champs.
Is this
they'll
with
be
or
good.
without
They'll
Chris
be in
Jones?
January. Yep, that is a question. My 4th seed is the team I apparently hate.
Yeah,
Partly
you hate
because
him.
I'm not sold. Partly because I'm not sold on the division. I'm sorry, Eddie, your Jags good, and
Yay!
it's
Listen, I'm
I
happy.
kind of,
I want to lose.
I
I want to
kind of
lose.
feel, I kind of feel disrespect for the Titans here that nobody has them in the playoffs.
I just think they.
I
I
might, I
listen.
might,
The Titans are going to be like the Jaguars. They're overhyped. You know, AFC South team had a 10-point lead in the championship round. They're overhyped,
Wow,
and
they're
I just
exactly
think
the
that
same.
they're not going to be good. They really are exactly the same in every possible way. They had a good running game, decent passing game, not the best, really good defense. But here's the difference: they lost pieces on defense. Everyone's saying, "Oh, they lost."
Yeah,
God, not Logan Ryan. I was going to say the other
they
piece
did.
that nobody's talking about is Logan Ryan. That that he didn't really make a big impact. You know, he's top corner on their team, so they're losing a lot with him now. And is Ryan Tannehill really the answer? Because listen, going back to a Jags fan, people thought Blake Bortles was the answer. They gave him the extension. Now they give Tannehill a big extension. Is he going to perform up to that level, or is he just going to bail out on them and say, "Hey, you know what? Give me my guaranteed money and let me run." You know, you don't know what this
you know,
not Houston,
I just
Tennessee
think
Titans
for
do.
the Titans, the way they won games is very hard to replicate.
Yeah.
unless you're the
Yeah.
To run the ball that much and be able to win those kind of games, that's tough.
It's not
Oh, yeah.
in today's league. Not in today.
I do like the. I think they have the best offensive line. I think Marlon Mack and Jonathan Taylor, bold prediction. I think they'll both rush for 1,000 yards this year. That's one of the best front seven in the NFL, and I do think that secondary is getting better. And I actually think Xavier will play better. He'll be somewhere in the middle, but 27 and his form from 29. So I've got the Colts 4 seed at 9-7. My 5th seed is the Pittsburgh Steelers 10-6. I think you're kind of sleeping on their defense. I do think Ben is going to have.
I'm sleeping on it because
good
I don't
season
think it
this
might
year.
not be the best in the league. That's why I'm sleeping on it.
Wait, who? He kind
I
of cut
don't
out
think
there.
he'll be the best.
I
What
said
did he say?
no. They're saying I'm sleeping on the Steelers defense because I think it might not be the best in the league.
I will debate you. It is, in my opinion, the best in the league.
That's a debate idea. Is this how good is the Steelers defense? But I do think the Steelers have one of the best, if not the best, defense in the league. And I do think the offense. I mean, it's not like they don't have any weapons. Deontay Johnson is pretty good. I think Juju Smith-Schuster is going to have a bounce back year. Eric Ebron, I think, is kind of an under the radar signing. I think he'll do as sort of a red zone threat. And James Washington has always been, just a threat. He's a small player. I think the Steelers will be back in the playoffs after a 2-year absence. Number 6, I've got their chance team, the Believe. Who?
Change purple, bro.
Number 6.
Number 6 seed, I've got your Believeland Browns. They have one of the 5 most talented rosters in the NFL. I have a little bit of concerns with how good Baker will be and how good the coaching staff will be. But Nick Chubb, Hunt, offensive line, they will physically overwhelm some of the teams that they play. They will also have, I think, Odell back here. Yes, Mitch, I do. I think back to being a top 10 receiver.
Yes, top 5,
and maybe even 5. And I think their defensive line pretty nasty. I think Myles Garrett is nasty, and I think Denzel Ward quietly is one of the most quarterbacks in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And my number 7 seed, I'm sorry, Bronco fans, I had your team in the playoffs before a certain signing happened about a week ago.
The Lion!
Unfortunately,
the Lion!
The Lions are in the NFC, Mitch. How much of a Lions fan you like? He's talking AFC. The Lions are in the NFC. Oh, my God.
I've got the Patriots in as 7 seed because I do think they will win the. Let me check. It is.
Ultra, I hate you. I hate you today.
I think they will win
Busboy hates the
the
Pats.
Week 5 game against Denver at home.
I have that
New
as
England
well.
Patriots.
I have that as well.
Unfortunately, I'm slowly rising on the team because I do think Cam is actually gonna have a season. I have some concerns, but I do think he's gonna. I think he'll be. I do think he'll still be explosive running the ball, and I do think playing in Josh McDaniel's system, I think he will. They're gonna be a good run. They're gonna mix in some Cam runs with some James White or Sony Michel runs. Plus, their interior offensive line is one of the best in the NFL, if not. So
Yep.
I think
agree.
their offense will be solid this year, and I think their defense won't quite be as good because they have a few players in their front seven, and they play a tougher schedule. But I feel like their defense probably top 5, and I expect them. Plus, they're coached by the best coach in sports history, and it's kind of hard to bet against. So those are my AFC teams. Any thoughts on that?
The Patriots one was horrible.
They're basically exactly the same as mine, right?
Basically, except I have the Bills.
The Bills over the Pats, and that's it?
Chiefs as
I can't believe you had the Patriots.
I don't know if
I
I can't. Okay, this is the thing. I can't put either the Patriots or Bills over the Chiefs. The biggest reason is because the schedule that both of them face is the most difficult. That's the AFC East has the most difficult schedule this year.
Here's what I found.
All right, so
Ultra.
you want me to tell you my last
So
three?
should
in
we
NFC?
finish Durcant's NFC or should
Yes,
mine
because the
and we finish
technical
Durcant?
difficulties are over. And
Okay,
yeah, we're
let's
back
get
into
Durcant
we're
before he
back
starts
into-
lagging again.
If anybody forgot, I had number 1 the Buccaneers, number 2 the Cowboys, number 3 the Seahawks, and number 4 the Detroit Lions. So now we're going on to number 5. It's the Arizona Cardinals, led by
Good
MVP
job.
candidate
Mhm.
Kyler Murray.
This guy is just a hot take machine.
Kyler
Mitch
Murray.
is not a Cardinals guy.
No, I
He is
am.
not a
I
Cardinals.
have them as my 8th seed.
They'll make
I
the
have them
playoffs.
11. This is my
they
thing, though.
might.
Kyler Murray is Russell Wilson 2.0. That's what he reminds me of. He's that next quarterback that's going to take that second-year jump to MVP elite status. He's going to have an amazing season.
Who do
They
you
added
take
DeAndre
out,
Hopkins, who is a little overrated. I don't think he's the top 3 wide receivers, but he's top 5. He's still an elite player, and he's going to open this offense up with guys like Christian Kirk, even Larry Fitzgerald, who's old as rocks, but he's still got some left in the tank. Kenyon Drake is a stud. He's going to ball out in the system again like he did at the second half of the last season. And I do think that their defense has more pieces than people realize. Chandler Jones.
It doesn't
is
have
one of
depth,
the-
though. The secondary is very sketchy.
Mitch is a huge depth guy.
Depth matters,
Yeah.
especially in COVID season.
All right, Chandler Jones is one of the best, if not the best.
Their
rusher
only
from the
pass
edge.
rusher, bro.
But he's very impactful, man. Jordan Hicks is very underrated. He's a good player. Buda Baker is a good player. Patrick Peterson is coming back. He won't be suspended this time. He's a good player. And I just think that I think Isaiah Simmons is going to be a stud. And I think that adding Josh Jones was a steal in the draft. I think it's not even so much as to their defense. I just think their offense is going to be so explosive.
I
that it
agree
won't-
with that, but like, who do you put them over? Like, is the 49ers not in the playoffs then?
No, actually, I'll get to that now.
You'll
Number
see,
six-
Mitch. Come
number
on.
6 is the
Like,
49ers at 10-6. The 49ers are in the playoffs, Mitch. Don't worry. I just expect them to have a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover next season. Their passing game, I don't think that their passing game will be as good, but they'll probably pick up. I'm not projecting anything right now, but I do think that they'll sign Devontae Freeman to replace Mostert if they don't keep Mostert. So their run game should actually be fine. George Kittle's a stud. Trent Williams should be an upgrade over Joe Staley. I don't think that him missing have not big of an effect on them. Their defense, it's still really good, but I do have concerns about the loss of Buck. I do think that Sherman is going to regress, and I'm not sure if they're going to be able to bounce back right away from that Super Bowl loss. So I do think that there's a good chance that they'll take some L's earlier in the season. So I have them at 10-6, the 49ers. And at number 7, I have the New Orleans Saints at 10-6.
Oh,
Oh my god! How do you have the Saints so low?
So
Mitch
wait.
is smiling right now. I can already.
No, wait. Who's not in the playoffs?
I agree. The Lions.
Okay, yeah.
He's
But
leaving out
The Vikings aren't in the playoffs for him.
the Eagles, the Vikings, the Packers. I think those would be the
so the
team.
Eagles are the team, right? The Seahawks are in.
Yeah,
I don't
the Eagles.
I don't think they're making it. I don't think the Eagles are
Swapping
making it.
the Eagles and the Cardinals.
You said that. Why? You asked how do I have the Saints so low?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said
Because
that.
a lot of
Yeah.
people
Explain
think
yourself,
they're
because a
gonna
lot of
be the
people have the
one
Saints
seed.
going to the Super Bowl, bro.
Yeah,
A ton
and
of people do.
every single year they do. I don't have.
Every
That's
year,
true.
yeah.
Every year,
For the past, like,
everyone
3
says
years.
the Saints are gonna go. Every year they always say.
Everyone has Ravens. Literally everyone.
Every single year.
No,
I do
Saints
not have
Chiefs.
any faith in
Or
them
Saints
come
Patriots.
postseason. I will say that right now. I have zero faith in them in the postseason this year. I don't know how long they're going to be able to keep up on their offense without being able to stretch the field in any sort of way. I think that they play a lot more teams on their schedule this year that have fast linebacker play, and they can kind of handle the short game better than last season. I don't think.
So
I do
are
have
you
them
saying
losing
that
to the
Wentz is overrated?
I do have them losing to the Falcons once. And I do think that their defense, is underrated. Cam Jordan, in my opinion, is the second best edge in the league behind TJ Watt. Mario
Cap.
Davis is one of the best linebackers. But you kind of mentioned it too. Their secondary, but outside of Lattimore and Marcus Williams, is kind of suspect. And Alvin Kamara, he's a great player, but he's not. He was kind of inconsistent last season. And I don't think that they're going to be able to keep up with a lot of these teams that have high-powered offenses not being able to go deep and stretch the field.
They're too slow, I think.
I think that Drew Brees' arm is.
Yeah, I agree with this point, but I don't think that matters until they get to the playoffs.
I have them at 10-6, and it's not that they're a bad team. It's just that I think the NFC is so stacked that even getting double-digit wins could get you the 7th seed in the
I just want to say what's up to John, who's in the chat. Big time announcement today. Hockey is back on August 1st. The Stanley Cup is back.
The Sens are in it.
Guys, go subscribe to Hot Take Hockey. John will be putting out fire content. I might even sneak on there. So if you are a hockey fan or just interested in sports at all, go check him out and subscribe to him.
Senators aren't in it. Woohoo!
The Cardinals at number 5 is not a hot take at all. People think that they're going to be like the number 1 seed.
That's what people say. It's weird.
It's not a hot take at all. It could very
Everything goes back to Nick Gill.
What's not a hot take?
You can flip 5 to 7. It's not a hot take. Yeah,
so
I'm just good. Okay, so why are the Eagles not going to make it? I want to know.
Wentz is getting hurt.
Well, they kind of. Well, they lost Brooks first of all. I think that's
they
gonna hurt
lost
a lot
Brooks.
of people.
That's gonna hurt.
I don't think that their wide receivers, like they added at wide receiver, but I don't think that any of their guys really wow me there. Their defensive line is great, but their second, I still think that they're very beatable through the air, even when adding Darius Slay. I do think they're beatable through the air, and I just really don't see the talent in them that I see in the teams that I have making the playoffs. And I also think that they're losing to Arizona head-to-head, so that's what kind of...
Yeah. No, I was just wondering because, I mean, I'm in the same kind of predicament as you are a little. I mean, I'm kind of between the Eagles and the Cardinals making the playoffs right now.
They're one game apart.
But I will say this about Wentz. Wentz had that 4-game run, but it's getting a little overhyped because
Yeah,
people
I
forget
agree
how
with that.
inconsistent. People are
Overhyped.
forgetting how inconsistent he's been just throughout his career since the MVP run. He's been really, really inconsistent.
They always seem
And
to
he really
be
did.
like, they always seem to kind of underwhelm with the Eagles. Like they always, the last like 3 years, ever since they've won the Super Bowl, it just feels like they've been supposed to be like in the Super Bowl. They're supposed to be like 13-3, and for whatever reason, they're 9-7.
And they barely.
The reason why Nick Foles isn't
Their division
there.
sucks, and their
The
division
reason-
sucks. That's
the
the only
reason
reason they're
I
making
could-
playoffs.
The
If Nick
reason why
Foles was still
I
there,
think
I think they would be good.
is that they play very well when their backs are against the wall.
But
They
who's the
often-
one that saves them? Nick Foles saves them. Josh McCown
Well, Wentz
wasn't
did
the one
last
that
year.
helped. Wentz did it.
Like,
Yeah,
when-
I mean, but again, like the Cowboys were falling apart, and they played the Cowboys, and also they were at home. That
But
game.
I like
they
those
played the
additions
Giants.
they've made, though. I mean, Hargrave and
you see-
Slay. Man.
Was
Yeah.
very underrated.
I will say a lot of credit does deserve to go to Doug Peterson because he's dealt with
Oh
a
yeah,
lot
he's awesome.
of criticism,
Yeah,
and I think he's one of the best coaches in the NFL.
He's very
it's gonna be
underrated.
very-
I credit him more
But
than Wentz, and I think that's where people get mad at me for not giving Wentz enough credit for that run. But
Wentz is
Better than Stafford, but I think you rate him fair.
yeah,
gotta
I
give-
think it more to Peterson.
Peterson the credit, and you
'Cause,
gotta
hey,
give
what-
it to
What's the
what's
common
his name?
mix? I mean, Foles is in there, Wentz is in there. It doesn't really matter. Peterson's the coach.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the offensive coordinator, he went to the quarterback's coach. He was our offensive coordinator last year. What's his name? It's
The
it's on the
Italian
tip of my tongue.
Di Filippo.
Yeah,
Is that his name?
yeah, John DiFilippo. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he helped a lot too because that's why he went down to Jacksonville, but it didn't work out there, of course. But in Philly, it just seemed to click, especially in those 2 playoff runs. You know, here's another what if? What if Alshon Jeffrey made the catch? But like I said, I think that
Hey,
Nick Foles is
Alshon Jeffrey
better.
made enough catches versus Eric Rowe. I don't want to hear it anymore.
I'll say this: I would not be
It's great.
surprised.
I don't care what anyone
if the
said.
Eagles made the
Eric
playoffs.
Rowe held Julio to 4 catches, so I don't care what you
Yeah.
say. He's a great corner.
Robert
Yeah.
says the Philadelphia Eagles will win the division. Why do you guys have them out of the playoffs? And I hopefully we answered most of that, but maybe Ultra, do you want to give your perspective on it?
yeah, I'm gonna give my
Predictions for
perspective
NFC?
also, but
Okay.
I'll give my perspective once I get to my schedule.
Eddie,
predictions.
Eddie, can I go?
See
Can I go after
predictions?
Ultra?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Should I go?
Wait,
Yeah,
what
go
is
ahead.
it?
And it
Wait,
sounds
what
like
did I
you're
just
under
agree to? What did I just
Okay.
agree to?
Can I go after Ultra?
Yeah, I'm going last. So.
Responding to that
Yeah,
comment, Ovi or Crosby. Crosby is one of the 5 best players of all time.
Yep.
Goat. Okay, next. Go.
Yeah, prime
See
Crosby.
predictions?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, Ultra go with you. Okay. So,
Number 1 seed. I'm flipping. As much as it pains me to do this, I'm flipping between 2 teams from the NFL. One of them. They're both quarterbacked by 2 of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. I right now have my number 1 seed. Unfortunately, the New Orleans Saints.
Oh,
at
boo!
12-4.
Oh no!
I swear, when the Saints disappoint on next season, don't.
Hey, but does this
Don't
not
start
back up the narrative that Ultra is a Saints fan?
I'm not a Saint. Okay.
Eddie
So,
yells on the
right
mic.
now-
Oh my god.
Okay, so 2 years ago, I had the Saints winning the Super Bowl because I thought they were the best team, and everyone said, "Oh, in disguise." And then last year, I had them missing the playoffs, and everyone said, "Oh, you're just a biased Falcons fan. Of course, the Saints are going to make the playoffs. You're only saying that because you're a Falcons fan."
Turtles
And now,
pumped,
because
though.
I'm predicting them to be the number 1, the narrative is resurfaced. This does not mean I think they will win the NFC, but they're money. I've learned they seem to be money. At least 11 wins every year.
Oh, I
12 wins,
agree.
right?
I think hey, I told you guys I was super close to putting them in the NFC Championship game.
They're one of the most
Don't-
consistent teams of all time.
I don't.
At least they did go 7-9 for 3 straight. Recently they've
That's
had,
consistent technically, but and then the one year they didn't have Sean Payton because of the bounty gate. Technically, yeah, too.
Sean Payton, Drew Brees, Sean Payton, one of the greatest quarterback coach duos of all time, no doubt about it. Michael Thomas, the second best receiver in the NFL, no doubt about it. Alvin Kamara's back. I think he's going to have a better season this year. Emmanuel Sanders, I think, will help this offense. And they have one of the best offensive lines, if not the best, in the NFL. Defensively, I actually think their defensive line is a little underrated.
I agree with this. I think Davenport is underrated.
Cameron
Davenport,
Jordan
yeah.
gets all the love, but they have some other guys that just do their job well. Marcus Davenport, Sheldon Rankins, even a guy like David Shy Tuttle. All of these guys, they're solid role players, and they complement Cam Jordan pretty. Their linebacker core, outside of Demario Davis, isn't the greatest, and I do think that'll hurt them a little bit. But I mean, Alex Anzalone's okay. That might be the biggest weakness on their team. Cornerback core, Marshawn Lattimore, Turtle. He's not the greatest player of all time, but he is a top 10.
Yeah, Turtle.
I do worry about some of the depth behind him, like P.J. Williams, Janoris Jenkins. These guys aren't the greatest, but they've got away with that for the last 2 seasons, and I don't see a reason why they won't be able to do it again.
They
And
haven't in the
safety duo is
playoffs,
one of the
though.
best. True.
See, this is the thing with the Saints. They get away with everything in the regular season, and then we see their flaws in the playoffs, and we somewhat overreact to their flaws in the playoffs to say that their regular season won't be good. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Dead on.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is dead on.
Regular season team.
Do you know who they do that to? They did that to Peyton Manning all these years.
That's
They
true.
did it to they did it to Brady a few times. You know, when he loses in the second round or the championship round. You know.
The NFC is really tight, and I do think kicking will somewhat come to account, and Will Lutz, the better kickers in the NFC, he has been the last few years. Number 2 seed, I've got the other team besides the Falcons that I want to. If the Falcons can't win the Super Bowl, I want this team too. It's the Dallas Cowboys.
Mark just said she.
Very high.
DeAndre Baker's trending on Twitter. Wait.
I've been very high on this team all offseason. I think Dak Prescott is one of the most over-criticized quarterbacks in the NFL. I think Ezekiel Elliott will come back with a vengeance. The running back or the wide receiver core, one of the best in the NFL. Offensive line is very good. I expect their defense with DeMarcus Lawrence I expect him to have a bounce back year. I expect Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith to have bounce back years. And another thing, they've been the most heavily linked team with Jamal Adams, and if they somehow got him, they would be Super Bowl favorites. I don't have any doubt in my mind about that.
We definitely
Plus, I
will,
think
John.
adding-
Let me know. Sorry, Ultra.
Mike McCarthy, just addition by subtraction. Getting rid of Jason Garrett might have been the best thing this team could have ever done. Even though I'm not a huge Mike McCarthy fan, I think he benefited a lot from having and I think he underachieved with the
I don't
quarterback.
think people understand how
great as
bad
Aaron
Jason
Rodgers.
Garrett is.
Listen, as a Jags fan, I understand what the Cowboys went through when they finally got rid of him. They're like, "Oh my God, it's been a long time coming." That's happening with us right now with Dave Caldwell and Doug Marrone. So I totally get why they were so happy. So it was a long time coming.
About
Can we
Wait,
just say that
Najee-
Mark is a legend? Can we just say that real quick?
yeah, he is a legend. Hold up, can I say something about Zeke real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
right, so these people want to come back with a vengeance. I don't understand why Zeke does not have to be the best running back in the league anymore for Dallas to have such a great offense. As long as he is a top 10 running back, their offense is still going to be a great unit.
I don't even think.
I know, but
I don't even think you could like.
Zeke regressed last year. I think his impact on games will be felt more as a pass catcher than it ever was.
I honestly don't think you can actually, like, this season we're going to watch the Cowboys and say that Zeke is the best, because I just don't feel like he is going to have a prominent enough role for people to actually look at him and say Zeke is the best running back. Because, I mean, he has so much help. He's going to be like, the best way to describe it to me is he's going to be like the Edgerrin James to the Colts offense to me. He's going to be like the complement who just happens to be a really good player.
I just think that the people who are talking about, who are expecting Zeke to take this huge jump again, I just think they're just really missing forward. I just don't see it happening at all. Yeah. It's not even just the role. He doesn't have to take as much of a load, and he doesn't have to play at that level again for them to be a great unit. As long as he's a top 10
good night, hot take hockey.
Perfectly fine. As long as he's still playing at an above average level, they'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. Yo, Mitch, did you see this? They said that a search warrant claims that Giants quarterback DeAndre Baker and Seahawks cornerback Quentin Dunbar paid their. That was funny. They paid a total of $50. They paid them $55,000 to tell them that the crime never occurred.
Really?
It's the most trending thing on Twitter right now.
Oh.
That's why I was like, why are they trending? They said, Instagram DMs, testimony, and search warrant.
And then the people said anyways?
They finessed them. They took the money.
Oh.
They're millionaires. Why do they have to rob them?
Listen, the Redskins are the winners in all this. I got 2 free draft picks for Quentin Dunbar.
Bro, that's going to hurt the Seahawks a lot, though. Now they're going to have to come back and sign AB.
So
now they gotta.
They're not gonna have Dunbar. I might have to change up some of my picks then, because I.
That's why.
Dunbar.
That's why. No, I don't think he's. That changes.
He was really good last year.
Like I said, what video was that? Oh yeah, the secondary video. I feel like if you take away any of those guys, it significantly hurts the Seahawks defense, especially if they don't have Clowney.
I don't think they're getting Clowney.
Yeah, they're not getting. I don't know where Clowney is. I heard that the Raiders are looking at him, which would actually.
You know what's a good game? Week 13, Giants and Seahawks. That's gonna be a fun game.
The Giants, every Giants game is gonna be fun. I think the Giants are gonna be a fun team.
You don't know with them. I have, when I give my predictions, I have a few upsets with the Giants this year that may shock some of you guys, but it could make a bit of sense to some, but I have a few upsets with this team. They're very underrated, but I don't think they're
anything
ready
but
for that level yet.
Okay, guys, let's just throw out AB. If you had one team that AB could sign with, where would you want AB to go and sign with?
Jacksonville. Like if he could flex the mustache.
I'm shocked Durcant didn't say Green Bay.
What? Green Bay?
I can never see him with Green Bay.
You love Rodgers and AB. That would be your favorite combo in the history of the NFL.
But it's not going to happen.
I would say the Pats.
It would be smart, but the Packers clearly don't care about wide receivers.
Wow, Bus said the Pats. Interesting.
The Pats? I would hate that.
I would love it.
No, just come to Miami. It's his hometown. You know, he's from here. He'll enjoy it all here. Him and Parker would be one of the best duos in the league. So,
wait, can he still play still? Because he's still under that the commissioner's exempt list.
Oh,
so
I
don't
thought
even
you
think
meant can he
still play.
No, he can still.
No.
If he gets reinstated, I think that's what teams are waiting for. But I mean, if Josh Gordon could get reinstated every single season of his life, then I think AB could get reinstated. But I don't know. That's just me.
Nicholas Bill just said that Hopkins is better than Michael Thomas, and that Tyreek Hill is debatably better.
Oh my god.
Tyreek
I-
Hill
Oh my God,
is
what an idiot.
debatably more
And I
impactful than
think
any
that
receiver, but I don't know if he's better.
He's just fast. I think he's just fast, really. I mean, Michael Thomas is slow, but he
He
can
was
catch.
insane for that team last year. Without Michael Thomas, that offense would have been
No, I think
sitting
it's Julio or Michael Thomas is the best receiver. And then
Yeah.
We need that
No.
turtle. We need that Patreon debate. I'll moderate it and everything.
no,
No,
when's the
because
Stafford v Ryan debate though?
Let's get ready to rumble.
no.
Okay, Ultra.
we-
though,
Turtle doesn't want to pay money, so we're not gonna do it.
Hey, listen, all you had to do was make an intro song.
Yeah, all you had to do, man. I'm excited to hear this intro song.
Yeah, it sounds good. It's sort of like I put like a little like a modern type mix to it because I really don't do like a not mumble rap because I didn't mumble it, but it's like a Migos type feel to it because I wanted to get
Okay.
like all hype and stuff for the video to start up, like a hype type.
All right,
so
cool.
it's
I'm
gonna sound good, yeah.
I'm intrigued to see what I can do with it. How I can
Yeah.
put it in my
Alright,
video.
And I could try to add like visual effects to it if you need. I could try to do that. I mean, may not be the best job at it, but I could try to do that, like a visual effect of it.
Hold on. Mrs. Eshawn has to finish out her prediction. We need to
All
let
right.
We need to let her.
That's not my real name.
I'm telling you guys, I said this in the chat. If Ultra really does happen to be a girl, I wouldn't be saying this stuff right now. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Ultra, hit me up. I'm single.
Eddie knows.
You guys,
I will switch from Verizon to AT&T just to have a chance with Ultra.
Yeah.
I'm not even on AT&T. Okay, should I continue or not?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Ultra.
You have the
Okay.
49ers.
So
up-
my
you were
three
up with
seed, I have
49ers.
them tied with the Cowboys, but because I have them losing the regular season game, I have them as the 3 seed. I have the 49ers at 11-5. They are a very talented team. Bottom, they probably are the best team in football, but I worry about the Super Bowl hangover. I worry about if Jimmy Garoppolo can take the next step up. I worry about their weapons outside of Kittle, and I think losing to Forrest Buckner is a big deal because I don't think he's quite as good as Buckner was, which will take away the dominant or somewhat take away the pressure of their pass rush last year, at least at the beginning of the year. Plus, Richard Sherman kind of left a bad taste in my mouth the way he ended. He was still one of the best corners of the game last year, but the Super Bowl kind of giving me a bad taste in my mouth for how I think of him heading. So, 49ers, though, they're very well coached, and they're very, which is why I'm winning the division at 11-5. My 4 seed, and I've put a team from the NFC North. Not sold on any of the teams. I'm gonna put the Green Bay here at 10-6, mostly because I feel like even though I kind of want the Lions, I feel like the Packers are a safer pick because they've proven it. Aaron Rodgers has proven he's won division more at times than he hasn't. And I do think this team has talent. Aaron Jones is a very good player. Devontae, very good player. Their edge rush is very good. Their secondary quietly is secondaries in the end. They're a whole team, and I don't have them as great of a record as they did last year. I think they were kind of a fluky 13-3 team. So I think they'll win the division because I think they have the question marks of any of the teams, but I could switch to mid there. 5 seed is a team that I've had at times winning the Super Bowl even. That's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. One of the most Tom Brady, yes, Turtle, make you mad. He's better than Breeze. Just is. Almost as accurate as Breeze is with twice as much of him. and it became clear to me, especially late in the year, his receivers weren't getting separation. That won't be an issue this year. They've got one of the most talented wide receivers, maybe in NFL. If Scott Miller can,
Scotty
break that,
Miller's
then
the
I think-
GOAT.
Yep,
Scotty.
Mike Evans, Chris Scott, a little over, very good receiver. And they've got 3 starting tight ends, plus their offensive line. It's pretty good. Line top. Front 7 is nasty. Shaq Barrett, Vea, Ndamukong Suh. They're loaded.
You're not gonna
man.
mention my boy Devin White?
And
Devin
don't sleep
White,
on
great
JPP with
linebacker.
one hand, bro.
JPP with one hand, stud. Levante David is one of the best linebackers in football, has been for years. And their secondary, I know no one wants to give credit. Carlton Davis played really well at the end of the year. Jamel Dean,
Ultra's
really
favorite
well
player.
at the end of the year. Wearing a Jamel Dean jersey right now, by the way. And Sean Murphy Bunting is also a player. And Bruce Arians is a good coach, and I think he might win Coach of the Year. That's one of my predictions.
Interesting.
We should do
Easily
award.
see this team. Yeah,
We'll
we
do
should.
that another
That's
time.
another stream idea. I could easily see this team winning the division. I feel like the Saints' chemistry is a little bit higher, and I'm a little about how they'll start due to this wacky offseason we're having. 6 seed is another team I'm kind of unsure about, but since they make the playoffs every year, not going to doubt them again. That's the Seattle Seahawks. Got them getting in at 10-6. Russell Wilson, I honestly don't have much of a problem if you say he's better. I don't think he is. If you say he's better, I can disagree with that. Pete Carroll is a great coach, but talent-wise, the team is just the reason why I don't see them as an NFC real contender is because if you take Wilson and Carroll away from it, talent doesn't match up to a team like the Niners, the Bucks, the Saints, or a team like that. I just feel like those teams are much more talented. Yeah. Again, there are elements of the Seattle team that I like. I like Lockett and Metcalf. I like Bobby Wagner, even though he's a little overrated. But the offensive line is concerning. Now without Dunbar, that secondary concerning. So there are elements to the Seahawks team that I like, and they always make the playoffs. They always win one-possession games. So you've got to put them in there. But I'm not sold on an NFC contender this year. And I do think they were a little overrated. And number 7, not even a week ago, I had it as the Minnesota Vikings. But Dalvin Cook thing kind of swayed me away from that. I don't have them in the playoffs any longer. Philadelphia Eagle fans, I'm sorry. The Brandon Brooks injury for me took the Eagles down a notch in terms of them in NFC standing. Plus, that linebacker is not very good. And there are question marks to that team. For me, it was between the Cardinals and the Lions, who got the 7th. And it's coming down to they play week 3. That'll be a fun game. I have game, which means I have Arizona playoffs. I think Kyler Murray's going to be amazing. I project him to be a top 10 quarterback this year, maybe even better. Might be an MVP candidate. Kenyon Drake was a top 10 running back in the second half. DeAndre Hopkins, is he a little overrated? It's not better than Julio. It's not better than him. He's a very, very interesting. And I do think they've got that position as well. Christian Kirk is still a good receiver. Larry Fitzgerald is still, he's still a starting receiver. Obviously, he's probably one of the 10 greatest receivers of all time, but he's not that. He's still a player. And their offensive line, I do think, will take a step up this year. And I do think what I like about the defense is they've got a good elite player at every level of their defense. You look at Chandler Jones, you look at Jordan Hicks, you look at Patrick Peterson, and you look at Budda Baker. That's a very good player at all 4 levels of defense, which is something that I like. I do think they will be able to force turnovers this year as they get pressure. And I do think Mitch is somewhat sleeping on the supporting cast that those 4 players have. And I think the defense is actually getting better. And I think Cliff Kingsbury as well. There was a lot of questions about him. A lot of people didn't think he should have got a job when he did, but I think all of those questions will go to way. And Cliff and Kyler, they're gonna to a playoff appearance. Not sure how far they're gonna get this year, but I'll tell you what, in the future, that's be a good team and organization. So those are my 7 teams: Saints, Cowboys, Niners, Packers, Bucks, and that.
Okay, interesting. I want to react to OHS Buffalo Gaming's picks. He said, I watched your playoff picks, and I want your opinion on mine. AFC, number 1 is Kansas City. Number 2 is Baltimore versus Denver at number 7. Number 3 is Buffalo versus Pittsburgh at number 6. And number 4 is Indy versus number 5, Tennessee. NFC is number 1, San Francisco. Number 2, Tampa versus number 7. I believe he meant to say New Orleans. Number 3, Green Bay versus number 6, Dallas. And then Philadelphia versus Seattle, which is 4 versus 5, I would assume. So, interesting. I don't know. All good picks. Let me see. What the heck?
And we still have people who don't believe in the Browns. Come on, man.
So what do you guys think of my pick? Are they terrible? Am I going to go 0-7? Or...
Ultra, I liked your picks except for the Patriots pick.
I don't think the Saints are going to be that
Mitch sounded genuinely shocked. Patriots.
And
No, I kind of saw it coming because you said that you were rising on them.
I'd swap the Seahawks and 49ers records.
Hey guys, I'll be right back. I've been muted this whole time, but there's like this big bug in my house that my mom's trying to get me to kill, and this thing is crazy. So I'll be back. So I don't know. I don't know what this thing is. This is it's like the size of my hand. I don't know what this is.
Send the picture.
In my room, she's like, go outside, see what this thing is.
I think the bug is called Bus Boy. Bus Boy, are you gonna give us your picks, bro?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, I'll be back before my picks, hopefully. So.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Okay. So for number 1, we're starting out with AFC, right?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, buddy.
Okay, number 1, I got the Kansas City Chiefs. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to prove the haters wrong and prove why he deserved that contract. I don't think they really got anything worse on offense except for adding, or they didn't get worse, but they added players like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Defense, I see, is really good. It just depends if Chris Jones stays there. If Chris Jones leaves, then it might be a little bit of a change, but not too much. But if he's there for a long time, then if he stays there that season, then they should be still at number 1. The corners are pretty good. You got good safeties, a good D-line. I think this team's pretty much perfect all around. And you got Andy Reid, one of the best coaches in the NFL. For my number 2 pick,
The Steelers.
I have the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh.
I just think this team's another one of those teams who are pretty perfect except for maybe the receiver position. I mean, they have a good receiver, Marquise Brown, but I feel like they could get a couple upgrades. If they got Antonio Brown, they would definitely be around. They'd still be number 2, I think, in my opinion, but they would definitely be better. Their defense is crazy with adding Calais Campbell, Judon. You got Humphrey, all those players. That defense just looks unstoppable almost, but not as good as Steelers, But they're still one of the top defenses in the Ravens. One of the Ravens defense. Oh my gosh, the Ravens defense is one of the best in the NFL. And you got another one of the greatest coaches in the NFL right now, in John Harbaugh. Number 3, I have the Buffalo Bills. I mean, I really don't like the Bills, but it's kind of hard to deny their talent they have. I mean, they didn't have a lot of targets last year, but adding Stephon Diggs really helped their offense a lot. I liked that pickup, but I feel like he might. This is saying he has a good year, but if he has a bad year, this could affect their record badly a lot, because if he has a bad year, it'd be because of all the pressure he has being the number 1 target in that offense, and everyone's going to have to double team him. And you got against the only person the only other person they're going to have to guard is Dawson Knox or maybe Brown, and then just have to watch the run game. That's not that hard, but I feel like Stephon Diggs is going to be double teamed almost every single play, so he's not going to be able to get as much catches as he was on the Vikings, because since he had Adam Thielen there to take off some of the pressure from him. I know that made Kevin Durcant mad, but
No, I'm talking about John Brown.
what?
John Brown is good.
I mean, he's good. He's good, but he's not.
He will
he's
be
not a
able
number
to
1
play the
target.
role that he's designed to play. He's not a number 1,
Yeah.
but he'll be a number 2 now, and that's going to help him.
Yeah, that will take more pressure. That will let him get more plays, but I don't think he's going to be.
I think his numbers looked as good as they did last year because he was force-fed the ball because he was their number 1 receiver.
Yeah. Number 4, I have the Indianapolis Colts. I see them. They have a good quarterback. The only question I would have is their targets, except for the running back. I mean, not running back targets, but receiver targets, because you only really have T.Y. Hilton and Zach Pascal, and who am I forgetting? Michael Pittman Jr. And that's we haven't seen Michael Pittman Jr. play yet, so it's kind of up to Zach Pascal a lot. And if we look at Michael Pittman and he is good, then yeah, they could make it to a number 3 seed and bump down the Bills to a 4 seed. But we don't really know those wide receiver targets yet, so I'm gonna keep them at number 4. And then so for looking at their defense, they have a really good front 7. I mean, at first I was kind of skeptical at their D-line, but looking more into it, I think they have a better D-line than I thought. Their corners and safeties might be the only question, except for maybe Malik Hooker. Number 5, you already know who we got. The Pittsburgh Steelers.
No.
Yeah. You got Ben Roethlisberger going to be on a comeback year. I mean, if he doesn't have the comeback year everyone's expecting, maybe you drop him down to 6 or 7. But if he has that comeback year, they're definitely going to be a number 5 team. And you got also Juju coming back with his quarterback, so he's going to have a comeback year also. You got running back James Conner. He could also have a comeback year, depending on if he suffers injuries. You got Chase Claypool, the GOAT, Megatron 2.0.
Do you know Chase Claypool grew up 20 minutes away from me, busboy?
I knew he grew up in Canada. I just didn't know what part of Canada you were.
Yeah. There you go. Fun fact.
That's cool though. That's cool though. But And you got the two-headed tight end monster, Ebron and Vance McDonald.
How do you think Ebron's
Yeah.
gonna do in the offense, Busboy?
He's gonna create another target and make a lot more people open, and he's gonna have a lot more open catches too, because it's more, because a lot more people have more opportunities because of that. Because Ebron's gonna be another target there that is gonna be deadly in the red zone and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree.
The Steelers' offense is like if their offensive line is elite again, which it should be, they can mask their lack of running backs, and their passing attacks are very underrated.
I think it depends on if they can get like a number 2 to break out, if that's Johnson or Claypool or Washington, like whoever it is. They need their second
I think
receiver to step
Johnson-
up.
I think Johnson is broken out. I just think they need Juju to return to 2018 form.
I had this
Yeah,
debate
and I
earlier
think he
about
can-
Juju to Courtland Sutton. Like, when I watched the two, Juju just seems like a faster version of Courtland Sutton.
Juju's a different player, though. Juju plays mostly inside, and Sutton plays outside.
By the way,
what I'm saying
Juju
is
was
they
not
both
on
rely
Mitch's
a lot on
top
their
32
physicality.
receivers.
He was
Like,
not.
they do.
Deservedly so.
They do rely on a
Which,
lot
by the
on-
way, your list was great because of the number 1 spot.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so
Who's number 6 and number 7, Bus? Who you got?
Wait, hold on. I gotta go for the defense of the Steelers.
Oh, no, you don't. We already know they're great.
Okay, so the
No,
best
you
front
can't love
seven,
them, so you got to do it.
the best front 7 in the league. You know what it is already. Cornerbacks. That's the only thing I look at. I mean, Joe Hayden's a good cornerback, but our cornerbacks are burnt a lot. But I think Minka added another more help in coverage. Tremaine Edmonds, he's getting to be. He can be a very good safety on some days, but on some games, he's just one of those guys just running around out there. And I think that defense is just like overall really good, and I think it's one of the best defense in the NFL. Okay, number 6, I got Denver Broncos.
Oh, Bus is buying the Denver hype.
I am too.
I think we all are. It's just the Cam signing.
I agree. I
got-
think the thing that makes me confident about the Broncos, I said it in my prediction, I think it's the coaching staff. I just really like the coaching staff.
Oh yeah,
Their
Fangio is a
defense
defensive mastermind.
And Shermer
Vic
on
Fangio-
offense is good. And Munchak, Busboy knows about Munchak.
Oh yeah, he's an offensive line wizard.
A line coach when they were like the best line in the league.
One thing though that is a little concerning is like this for the Steelers. Obviously, the offensive line is good, but all of their players are old. Like this year and maybe next year is the last years of them.
And if that offensive line isn't good, like as good as it's been, and that running game was already bad last year, does that mean it's worse? And how does that affect Ben, who's older and coming off an injury?
The offensive line,
And they
is
don't
the
have
only
AD
reason the
anymore
run game was
either.
good without Le'Veon Bell. After Bell was gone, that run game was always.
I think
Well,
more so
you
than
are
Ben,
not-
it's the offensive line.
Mitch,
Sorry?
you are not a James Conner fan.
Oh, I think James Conner is not good. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he is. He's not good at all.
I think he would be a fine number 2 running back. I don't think he's a number 1.
Okay, listen.
He's better than
To all the
Sony.
James Conner haters, go look at
Debatable.
his Instagram. That's all I gotta say. Okay, anyway,
Didn't they draft somebody?
Let me
though?
check his.
I heard he looks huge. He's shredded
Anthony
now.
Anthony McFarland's.
he's not gonna do nothing. I'm sorry.
Benny
I
Snell,
thought
I think, will
isn't
take a
James
step
Conner
up.
shredded now, bro?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's built like
have you
a
seen his
bull.
workout thing? He's worked out more than ever. He's gonna be a stud. Wait.
All right.
You,
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
So if I pick him in fantasy, will I regret it?
okay, listen.
Okay,
Not
I'm
this
listening.
year. The next year. Okay.
Next year.
Give him some time.
Okay.
I also forgot to put on the Steelers the O line. It's not as good as last year, losing Ramon Foster, but it's still good. It's just the only thing I'm looking at is that left guard position. That's the only thing I.
Wisniewski played well for the Chiefs, but that's the Chiefs, so I don't really know.
Yeah. Okay. So my numbers. So for number 7, I got or not number. For number 6, I got the Broncos. Who have a. I feel like Drew Lock's going to be a really good quarterback, coming in the future. I believe that at least. I know some people hate Drew Lock for some reason. I don't know.
Because he has a
running
strong
back?
arm. That's why they don't like him.
Yeah. Running back is it's question. Like, I don't know if Philip Lindsay is going to be as good as he was last year. I feel like he might take a downfall a little bit, but I don't feel like that's too major of a downfall. I think he'll still be good, but not as good. And you got Jamal Charles, but I feel like he's not Jamal Charles. Melvin Gordon.
Jamal
But I feel like
Charles.
Okay, Melvin Gordon reminds me
way
of Jamal
back to 2015. Like,
Melvin Gordon reminds me of Jamal Charles. I feel like he's just going to regress just like Jamal Charles did on the Broncos.
Oof.
But, anyways, But Melvin Gordon can be good. It's just I don't know if he's just going to be as good as he was on the Chargers. Wide receiver, I love Courtland Sutton. Jerry Jeudy, I feel like he's an overrated receiver in the draft class. I don't think he's going to be as good as some of the
hard
CD
disagree there.
CD Lamb, Ruggs.
Yeah, me too.
He's better than Chase Claypool.
I think that.
Oof.
I think Jerry Judy's gonna be awesome. I think that he's gonna be amazing. Like maybe not year 1, but in a couple years, I think he's gonna be fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Wow, this guy's hyping him up.
I love Noah Fant.
AB 2.0.
Tight end. Oh no. I love Noah Fant at tight end. He's one of my favorite tight ends in the league actually. O-line needs some help, I think. D-line, they added Jarrell Casey, which was one of the biggest steals in the offseason this year, I think at least. You got Von Miller, cornerbacks, Chris Harris Jr., AJ Boye, Justin Simmons, who's a safety. That secondary is looking really good. What?
Wait, Bus.
What?
Chris Harris isn't on the team anymore. He's actually on the Chargers. Chris Harris.
My God, I'm so dumb.
They traded for Boyeda. They got.
And they got AJ Bouye, yeah.
I got. I forgot.
You good? You good?
Yeah, but AJ Boye, Justin Simmons, people like those really good. Those guys are really good. My number 7, and then I think Vic Fangio is a good coach in my opinion. But number 7, I have the Browns. I think they barely make it. I think they barely make it with a 9-7 record. I think depending on the playoffs, I think the only reason they would make it to the playoffs is if that who's the new coach? I can't think of it on that.
Stefanski?
What's his name? Why can't I think of it? Anyways, I'm like having a what?
Stefanski?
Wait, I didn't have.
Huh?
You talking to me? Stefanski?
Yeah.
Stefanski. What about him?
Yeah. I feel like if he's a good coach, then they can definitely make it to the playoffs. But if he's not what everyone's expecting him to be, then I don't think they make it to the playoffs. But assuming he is that coach that they were looking for, they will make it a 7 seed, maybe 6 seed if they beat out the Broncos. But with that, they have a quarterback, Baker Mayfield. I feel like he hasn't got the credit he deserves. I mean, he's been playing with not a bad line, but it's not good enough to be he's under pressure constantly. Wide receivers, you got the Odell and Jarvis Landry. That's like two-headed monster. They'll make a lot of big plays this season, I think. You got Austin Hooper's one of my favorite tight ends. Not my second favorite, but he's one of my favorite tight ends in the league also.
Bus boy, can I pull a party and ask why do you hate the Patriots?
Sorry. I just want to know. Well, here's my question. Here's my question. I have a question for you. Actually.
All right. Oh, you're gonna flip it on me, eh? Okay.
You had the Patriots 8-8, but
Yeah.
you changed them to a. What was your record after? What's your record now?
10-6 now.
10-6. Yeah,
Yeah.
10-6 because they signed a old regressing.
Yeah, they
QB
signed
on
an
a
old
season-long
regressing
injury.
MVP who's the leading all-time rushing touchdowns.
How long ago was the MVP season?
It was
What's
but
Ben now?
it-
Ben
hey, wait.
regressing, you become
He won the
Cam is-
MVP in
Cam is
2015.
just
As
as
far as
bad.
I'm concerned, he won it the last time. Aaron Rodgers won in 2014, right? So why are we not down Aaron
Yeah, but
Rodgers?
Matt
now?
Ryan
I am
won it
back.
in 2016, so that must mean Ryan's been better recently than Cam, Mitch.
I just
You gotta
like to
give that
say,
one up, eh?
I think people are overdoing the Cam Newton injury stuff because his shoulder has been healthy for an entire season. It's really the foot, and the foot is healthy now. So I don't really understand why people are so worried about his injuries. I think that's kind of overestimated. And then you say this stuff like we're gonna say. I think Durcant was about to say it there. It's like you're bringing this up with Cam, but not Ben, and Ben is like 7 years older than Cam.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
but if you look at it, Ben also has more targets than Cam Newton. Who's Cam Newton got?
But Cam
Edelman,
Newton
who's
can
like-
give the
like
threat of the
31 years
run.
old.
And wait. What are the Steelers' targets proven more than the Patriots? I mean, really?
I mean, you got Juju,
You had a
who's
down
had.
year last year. The other ones didn't really prove much. I think they'll be good, but they're not
I think.
a for
Well,
sure
I
thing.
think. I think. I would
Ain't
think like
changing
a
life.
young. I think a young up and coming receiver would be better than a.
Okay,
older
well, how do we
receiver
know that? How do we don't know that N'Keal Harry's up and coming young receiver?
Because he came off and he's.
He was a first round pick, though. How can we just automatically
I'm
count him
saying-
out?
Listen, I'm back,
Artie
guys.
Burns was a first round pick.
I think Harry's gonna have that kind of season like DJ Chark did, where the first season you don't think he's gonna be
I
that
hope
good, and then
so.
second year he just breaks out.
I hope so.
Did you see
I'm
also,
just
you
saying,
saw that picture? Do you know what that is? That was.
What? No.
I don't know what that is.
That's a busboy. That's what that is.
I don't know. I was scared. I literally had to have my mom kill it. I was so scared.
Mike.
All right.
Okay, all I want to say is,
Okay.
I think like Harry is being unfairly counted out. Like, I understand if you didn't like him in his rookie season. I didn't either. But I mean, the guy was a first round pick. Can we at least give the guy a chance? He didn't even play the whole season last year.
Well,
Sucks.
hold on. Artie Burns was a first round pick, but we didn't give him another chance after he had his.
Artie Burns was
2 years
trash,
injury.
though.
Exactly, and
Marty
N'Keal
Burns
Harry's
was
trash.
So.
So
I do
had
want to
4
answer this
years.
question.
Brady
Sports
Bunch
Today
had
says
4
if
years.
Brady wins the Super Bowl this year, how long do you think he'll play? I think no matter what, whether he wins the Super Bowl or doesn't win the Super Bowl, he's going to fulfill his contract with Tampa Bay and retire. 2 years.
okay, can I go on with my predictions now?
Go ahead.
Okay. Wait, did I get through the whole Browns team? Or no, I didn't.
I don't know. We get the Browns. We've heard it 3 times.
Okay.
Go next.
Yeah, we got the Browns.
Okay,
The
so
Browns.
NFC next. NFC next.
Same prediction.
NFC next.
It's almost like you guys watch the same channel. Okay, yeah, go NFC.
Okay. I got number 1, the New Orleans Saints. I like that team a lot. You got
I'm back.
Drew Brees, one of the best QBs in the league, in my opinion, top 5 at least. A good running back. Well, if Alvin Kamara has a good year this year, they would definitely be number 1. But I don't know about that running game yet. It depends on how Alvin Kamara looks. Because he had a down year last year. But wide receiver, Michael Thomas, the second best receiver in the league,
Ooh.
and then adding Emmanuel Sanders. Emmanuel Sanders was good.
Behind AB.
The O line is pretty good, in my opinion. You got I think one of the more underrated types, Jerry Cook.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, Jared Cook is
defense-
good, and I think he's perfect for New Orleans because he's not going to have to be counted on to do anything special, but he'll make plays.
Yeah.
Because New
Defense,
Orleans
I
has
think-
the best short and intermediate receiver in the league, which
Yeah.
makes him the second best.
We need. I swear to God, if Ultra keeps hinting at this, I'm literally going to pay for
I'm
Turtle's
playing with
Patreon.
Turtle so much.
I'm literally
Yeah.
paying for his Patreon. Yeah.
I think Ultra has a
Yeah.
crush
Defense?
on Turtle.
Okay,
Yeah.
defense.
And it is a
I think-
straight relationship.
I
Yes,
think
it is.
Ultra already explained the defense for me. Like he basically said pretty much everything I was gonna say. So I'm not gonna really say anything. And then you
Yeah.
got one of the best coaches in Top 8.
All right, so they're number one.
Yes.
Yeah, he's
I'm gonna get
Number-
enough
who's your
credit
number
for
two?
Drew Brees. I'm just gonna say that.
Okay, number 2. This might be a shocker to some, but I got in the NFC North the Green Bay Packers.
Whew.
cheap.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, so I got Aaron Rodgers. He's one of the great QBs in the league right now. Running backs Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams is a pretty good duo there.
What about
You got
AJ
Devonta
Dillon?
Adams. I haven't seen him play. I don't think anyone's seen him play, so I don't want to put too high on him yet.
Okay.
But wide receiver Devonta Adams but like other than Devonta Adams, there's not a lot of receivers. But I don't think it matters because Aaron Rodgers is one of the more better-minded quarterbacks in the league. So I think he can give it to Devontae. So that's the only question I have with the Packers is their other receivers other than Devontae Adams. I mean, they don't have a O-line is solid. It's pretty good. Defense, you got some good players in Zadarius Smith, one of the better edge rushers. You got cornerbacks like Jerry Alexander and the good secondary. The coach, oh my God, why do I keep
He's French.
Matt LaFleur.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Matt LaFleur. He's not one of the greater coaches in the league, but he's definitely a good coach. And I just see that I think
Patricia's better.
Yeah, obviously.
no, but I think they can pull
in
it
2
through.
years
I think
didn't win himself.
Who has more Super
I think the
Bowls?
Pack.
though?
I don't know what you're talking about. But,
Shut out the Falcons in the second half, so you
I
must
think-
be
Exactly.
goat.
I think the Packers are gonna pull it through this year.
All right, cool, man. That's a
number-
good prediction. Number 3.
I got the Seattle Seahawks.
Okay.
This one depends on if their defense plays good. If their defense plays horrible, they might drop down to number 6. But if their defense plays good enough, then they can be a number 3 team easily. You got Russell Wilson, one of the best QBs in the league. Like he's in second behind Patrick. Chris Carson, he could have a good year this year.
Okay.
Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf is like really scary to me. And plus, if they get Antonio Brown, which they're one of the top candidates for.
What about
Tight
Philip
end
Dorsett?
He was good on the Patriots, and kind of cold. But I don't think he's going to be as good as on the Seahawks.
Okay. I understand.
Tight end, okay, and Hollister. I don't like Hollister that much.
Greg Olson, man.
Greg Olson. He's getting old. I
The
don't.
mid
Yeah.
2010s form.
Olson's too old for me right now.
They could sign Matt Lacoste.
Oh,
O-line
he's still
is-
on the Patriots, though.
The O line is horrible, I think, but I think Russell Wilson can still escape from the pocket pretty easily. Defense is where the questions are at, but Bobby Wagner and that can pretty much carry if they play up to their expectations. And you got Pete Carroll, one of the best coaches also in the league. There's a lot of best coaches in the league, in my opinion. I've realized that as I keep going on. But yeah, if they do everything right under Pete Carroll and stuff, then they can definitely be the 3 seed. Going to number 4, I have the Cowboys, 13-3. This is one of those like perfect teams in my opinion.
13-3, 4
Wait,
seed.
you just said 13-3 is the 4 seed?
Oh wait, no, I was looking at the wrong. I was looking at.
Wait, Busboy, what are you doing?
I actually was looking at the record of the Saints. My bad.
Okay,
so,
Busboy, give us your 4, 5, 6, 7, and just describe a little bit. Just say all the teams right now, and just tell us why you got them there.
Okay, number 4 I got the Cowboys. Number 5 I got the Buccaneers. Number 6 I got the Cardinals, and number 7 I got the Vikings.
Oh.
Number 4 I got the Cowboys because they're pretty much all around a perfect team with Dak Prescott. If he can play good this year, then that's definitely good for them. Zeke Elliott, he's a top 5-ish QB around there, or not QB, running back. Wide receiver, we got Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and Michael Gallup. That's pretty good trio there. Tight end might be a little weird there. With Blake Jarwin, is right? Yeah. You got O-line is definitely one of the best in the league. Well, just the only thing is they lost Travis Frederick, but I don't think that takes off much from them. D-line is great with DeMarcus Lawrence. Middle linebackers, Jalen Smith, he's pretty good. If he can get back to his 2018 self, then that's definitely an upgrade. You got Jamal Adams. If Jamal Adams goes there, then they're definitely number 3 or 4. They might take the Seahawks spot, but I definitely think that defense, if they get Jamal Adams, will be one of the top defenses in the league.
All right.
Behind the Steelers, Ravens, and
Yeah, we get it. The Steelers' defense is good.
49ers.
We get it.
Yes. Okay. Number 5. Number 5, I had the Buccaneers.
Okay.
Hold on, my AirPods are dying.
Uh-oh.
You've been using your oh, that's why you've been using your AirPods this whole time. That's why it's not.
Okay, hold on. Hello?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay, my AirPods died. Hold on.
I can hear you.
Okay, so number 5, I have the Bucks. They, I think, can get it done. They have a scary offense, in my opinion. Just only question maybe running back. With
Who needs
Mike
a
Evans,
running
Chris
back?
Godwin, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Gronk, players like those, Tom Brady, the front 7 of the Buccaneers is like scary. Secondary might need a little work. Well, not a little bit, a lot of work, but it can definitely get there. Number 6, and they have Bruce Arians, which is a pretty good coach. Number 6, I have the Cardinals because they have I love the pickups they got. They got Kyler Murray, who's one of the up and coming QBs of the NFL. I think he's gonna be one of the top 5 QBs we're talking about in the next 5 years.
Yes.
Running back.
I think almost everyone thinks that, which is interesting.
Running back, I got running back Kenyon Drake. He can be really good if he plays his heart out. Wide receiver, the best receiver in the league, DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh. What about AB?
Get the fuck. Get
Oh,
the fuck. All right.
No.
I'm challenging us to a Patreon debate. Who's better? Who
I'm
are
hosting.
Hopkins.
I am moderating it. He just.
What about AB?
Moderating.
We already
AB's
did
not-
that one.
AB's been off.
AB
AB's
won.
been out
Who's in
for
a mental hospital, bro? Where you been at?
But anyways, so you got them.
What about Chase Claypool, bro?
Chase Claypool is the second best receiver.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I'm
All
joking.
right.
I'm joking. I'm joking. But
Okay.
I haven't seen him play yet.
Last
But he's going
team?
to be the number one.
Worst. Edelman sucks.
Yeah, Edelman is.
Edelman is I don't think Edelman is horrible.
He's made no clutch catches that weren't lucky.
Yeah. He's never made any clutch
Robert-
catches in his career. He sucks. Okay, continue.
Okay. Anyways,
Yeah, total.
so the
Yeah,
defense.
totally.
The defense is really good. I like you got Chandler
Super
Jones.
Bowl.
I love the Isaiah Simmons pickup in the draft. I love that pick.
I hate it.
Okay.
Right before us.
Patrick Peterson he's kind of regressing a little bit, but he's still one of the top corners in my opinion. Budda Baker, he's pretty good. He's gonna be upcoming top safety in the league. Jordan Hicks is pretty good. And then they got
I want to hear your Vikings.
I think. Okay. The Vikings.
The Vikings.
Okay, the Vikings. Kirk Cousins is gonna have one of his best career years this year, in my opinion. Running back Dalvin. Okay, listen. All these predictions are based on if every player stays. Like all the people who are protesting, like holding out or whatever, like or acting like they were holding out, just saying they stay there. Dalvin Cook won the top, in my opinion, the third best running back in the league. You got Adam Thielen. He's good, except for if he's very injury prone, I think. Justin Jefferson, if he lives up to the hype, he can be a good receiver. You got, other than that, but you got tight end Kyle Rudolph. He's like a top 10 tight end in the league. Who else do you got? You got their line. It's okay, but it still needs improvement. The D line is kind of scary with Daniel Hunter. Supposing they can still get Griffin back, I'm pretty sure. So if they get that back, if they can get him back, then that would be pretty good for them. Linebackers, you got Kendricks, Barr. That's pretty good. Harrison Smith, one of my favorite safeties in the league. But the cornerbacks they're just not. Yeah, it's just that's really their only weakness on that team, except for maybe the O-line. But that corners is the only thing we would look at, and supposing Jeff Gladney can live up to his expectation, he can still be a lockdown corner, and Holton Hill can also do the same. And plus you're under Mike Zimmer, who's a very good coach in this league, and they're one of my favorite teams in the NFL. Actually,
oh, so you're biased. That's why.
No, that's not biased. No, it's not biased. It's not.
No, I see what it is. All right, thanks, Fuss Boy.
Hold on. I just wanted to say the Pats are my thing. You want to know the Pats record?
Okay, what is it? 6 and 10.
6 and 10.
All right. Yeah, I guessed it.
And then
All right.
the Jets and the Jaguars are the 0-16 teams.
What? Jets aren't going 0-16. Jets are not going 0-16.
Are they what?
They are actually trash, but 5 teams, 3 wins.
Wait, 2 teams are going 0-16?
Yep.
Take that to Vegas.
Oh wait, no, they don't. I thought they play. Wait, don't they play each other? No, they don't play each other this year. My bad.
Take that to Vegas, bro. And I gotta answer a couple questions here. So the first one was.
And then I gotta go, right?
Yeah, and then we're gonna be done.
Yay.
So the first one was Gilmore or Ty Law in their prime, and that's a tough question. I honestly, I'm gonna say Gilmore. I'm gonna say Gilmore, because he won the Defensive Player of the Year. And I think while Ty Law was amazing, I don't think he was the same level of like shutdown type corner as Gilmore was. And I don't know if Ty Law was ever considered the absolute best corner in the league, but maybe he was. Like he was probably in the top 3 for a number of years, but I don't know if he was ever considered like better than Champ Bailey or anything like that. Kerryon Johnson or DeAndre Swift. I actually think this is going to be funny. I think it's going to be everyone hyping out Swift, and then Kerryon's actually going to end up being the guy that breaks out this year, but that's just kind of like a weird thing that I have this season. Yeah, as long as he stays healthy, they'll be good.
Get that.
And another comment that I found interesting was Jesse says, Breeze is heavily declining, but people want to talk about how Brady and Rodgers are washed.
I agree with that statement completely. People don't watch enough Saints games, man. They don't run. Breeze can't complete comebacks anymore.
I don't think he really ever was.
Anymore. And according to Mitch, I have a Breeze jersey on right now.
Yeah, you do, I think. Maybe it's just a Chargers one.
Yeah, I have a Chargers one.
Breeze and the Chargers. All I'm going to say, if Breeze did play on the Chargers in 06 or 07, they would have won. Would beat the Patriots one of those games. They would have.
And Leo wants to know, Busboy, if you're disrespecting Saquon or Zeke by having Dalvin Cook in the top 3.
Not Zeke.
Even top 5.
Who's your top 3? Who's your top 3?
Top 3 is CMC, Barkley.
Wait, who is number 1?
CMC,
King.
he said.
Wait, you're breaking up. What?
CMC.
Oh yeah, I can probably see that.
Yeah, he says Christian, Barkley, and then Cook. So he's disrespecting, in Leo's opinion, Zeke. But if you looked at my list, I have Zeke pretty low. So
yeah, I don't think Zeke is not top 3.
He had Joe Mixon above Zeke.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Joe Mixon's good.
Like, Mitch, I need you to explain how the Bengals have a better roster than the Falcons.
Their receivers, one.
Receivers, running back,
defensive line, secondary.
Their O-line isn't better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Their O-line. Yeah, but okay, wait. The O-line of Atlanta is better, but the O-line of Atlanta is still not good.
Yeah.
The linebackers of Atlanta are better. Other than that, I mean, the rest of the Bengals' defense is better. Am I wrong by saying that?
Nope.
The Falcons have better safeties.
I see Neal's going to come back and play.
Better safeties. That's unarguable.
Leo Ekman said you can't punish Zeke for having a good O-line. He does have a good O-line.
I just don't think he's as explosive as the other guys, or he makes as many plays as the other
Falcons
guys.
have a better quarterback.
No, I don't think so either.
The Falcons have better receivers.
Skip Bayless said this earlier, and they said this earlier. He's the guy that'll get you 2 yards, and then he'll get you 5 yards, and then he'll get you 3 yards, and then he'll get you 7 yards maybe at most. He's not gonna get you.
I think the main thing I've
you
seen
50
from Zeke
yards.
is kind of what Durcant is saying is like Zeke has lost his ability to make a 50-yard touchdown. Like every time he gets caught from behind.
In 2016, what looked like a 5-yard run would become a 15 or 20-yard run. You don't see that anymore.
Yeah, he gets a lot of his yards in small.
I will say, nobody wants to say this, but the offensive line has gotten worse in every single of Zeke's seasons. But nobody does want to. That is
no, they have. That is true.
They're still a good offensive line, but in 2016 they physically.
No, I would say they were actually better in 2018 than they were in 2017 because they had Frederick.
Yeah.
Didn't Frederick not play in
Last year
2018?
Tyron's been hurt. And that's
Didn't Frederick miss 2018?
Wait. He declined in one season and then he came back and played and he was better that year, I think. Zeke.
Mm-hmm. I just realized this. I just looked this up. It was like an Instagram recommendation post. It says that Jason Pierre-Paul had 8.5 sacks in only 8 games, which is crazy.
Nobody wants to say that though. Don't bring it up. They're sleeping, bro. They're sleeping on the one-hand bandit.
Yeah, eight fingers. Every year I wear a Jason Pierre-Paul jersey. on
How are you gonna
4th of
call
July.
yourself? How are you gonna call yourself a Bucks fan if you don't even have them winning the Super Bowl
I'm not a Bucks fan.
I should have had them winning the Super Bowl. My
in their
bad.
home stadium too?
My bad, guys.
Come
I'm
on.
next
That's
next
gonna be
prediction.
fun. All right.
Bucks Nation.
Yep, I think it's my turn, right? Or
Sure.
all right. This is not final, guys. This is, like I said before, this is what I think right now, and I'm gonna go down from. I'm not gonna give anything else from 16 to 8. I'm just gonna say who they are, and you'll know why. For AFC, I'll start first. Number 16, the Jacksonville Jaguars at 2-14. Number 15 is the New York Jets at 4-12. The number 14 seed will be the Los Angeles Chargers at 4-12.
Whoa.
I don't think they're gonna have. I don't think they're gonna have a
I
big year.
kind of agree with that.
I
could
don't
see
think.
it.
Too
Number
talented.
number.
I don't
number
think they're going to be
13,
4-12. But
It's possible. Number 13, I have the Houston Texans at 5-11. I don't think that. I don't think they're. This is if they don't get Antonio Brown. If they get Antonio Brown, different story, of course. But I just
Deshaun
don't
Watson
think.
5-11, bro.
I think that's. I
Deshaun,
think that's
bro.
gonna happen. I think that's gonna happen.
If JJ
I'm-
Watt gets hurt again, this is bordering on worst.
This is why. That's why I'm thinking. That's all they really have on defense is JJ Watt, and he's very injury prone. And I think that they're gonna. I mean, they're not. I mean, losing Hopkins is big. They still have good receivers. I just don't know if they're going to be able to adjust to that. And they have, easy games and stuff. But I think there's going to be a lot of close games in that division, which means that if they lose those games, they're going to lose. They're going to have a worse record, which means
They
they're
do
going to be
have a tough
5-11.
schedule, kind of underrated tough schedule.
They do.
I
Yeah.
don't think they were that great last year. Either.
I don't think they were great either. They just had a very easy division.
And
Besides the Titans. And the Titans just came around.
They
Yeah,
probably should have lost to the Bills.
they should have. They should have lost to the Bills.
Hopkins. I will say this though, people are kind of sleeping on JJ Watt coming back. He was playing pretty decently coming back in the playoffs after an injury with no conditioning at all.
Yeah,
He's
I
the best edge
still
rusher.
think he'll be.
I don't think
he has a
top
lot of heart.
Just to answer Leo, I don't think that top 5 defenses automatically mean wins though. Like 7
don't
wins
think so
for
either.
a top 5 defense. Like if they're not the best defense in the league,
They're not the best. They're older. Their secondary is older. And I mean, listen, they have a good secondary. That's what everyone looks at, the secondary.
And the
I think
pass
Chris
rush.
Harris signed there. Yep, and the pass rush as well. But I just don't think they got to get a year to get into it, and then the offense is just going to have a lot of problems, especially if Tyrod Taylor is going to be starting for them.
Tyrod Taylor.
And I think the Chargers are going to be sort of like a 2017 Houston Texans team, going back and forth between their rookie and their starter, their established starter, and I just don't think they're going to pan out well that season. Maybe in 2021 they'll be better, but I just don't think this is the year for them. And then at number 12,
I'll be right back.
all right, number 12 through 10 are all 6-10 teams. I have at and this is the number 12, and they're all 5-7 in conference play. So, number 12, I have the Tennessee Titans at 6-10. I do not believe in the hype.
Oh, this is hate. This is hater, bro. You're just hating
I'm
on
not
your
hating.
own division, man.
I'm not hating on my own division. I'm not. I'm being serious.
Wow.
I don't believe in the hype. I just do not believe in the hype. Like I said, I think the Titans are going to have one of those years where it's like, okay, they went to the title game. They're overhyped. They think they're going to be great. And this is coming from a Jags fan, not being biased, nothing. They're just going to have one of those off years. You pay Tannehill so much money,
Okay.
and he's going to have to perform good. And he makes the slightest mistake, they're going to criticize him, and that's going to just deteriorate his play, both mentally and physically, because he's just going to be worn out by having to do so much under that contract condition.
Hey,
And
I gotta
that's another-
interrupt you real quick. I gotta give a shout out to Dose of Dion, bro. This is the guy. I'm gonna have him on the channel. This is the best Lions channel on YouTube. You gotta go check him out. Go subscribe. He's a good guy, and we're gonna do some content probably in the future. So go check him out.
Fournette, top 10 running back. What do you think?
I think Fournette's number around like the 8 to like number 8. I say, in my opinion, like out of all the running
Yo,
backs,
Fournette is the
Can I-
biggest
can I-
disappointment out of college I've ever.
he was the biggest hype. I did not want Fournette in that draft. I really did not want Fournette in that draft. Not gonna lie.
Can I just say, a ton of people have copied Mitch's Lions videos.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh.
Yeah, of course. You know who I really wanted in that draft? A guy named Patrick Mahomes, and no one listened to me.
No.
They all thought
I actually
they all-
heard it. I
You
heard
know
he's
who
pretty
else?
good.
I listen.
You know-
And
you
people
know
were
who
saying
else
Deshaun
wanted
Watson.
Patrick Mahomes.
The
Nicholas
Bears. Thank you. Thank
Hey,
you.
thanks,
Thank you.
Dion, man.
Go Bears.
Mahomes.
We're gonna, me and Dion, we're gonna make a why the Lions are gonna win the NFC North vid coming. It's gonna be fire.
That's gonna be good. Because
I
I don't have them winning the. Spoiler alert! I don't have them winning the division, but I have them at a very good record, and you're gonna like this. You're gonna like this, but you're gonna think I'm crazy for who wins the division and at their record. So
The Bears
going
Oh,
up
it
to,
better not be the Bears.
no, not the Bears at all. No. Anyway, so
Okay, good.
Cincinnati is our 11th seed at 6-10. I think they're going to have some good games. They have a relatively okay schedule, but a little hard throughout the season. They have
That's fair.
the division rivals and stuff. Number 10, I actually have the Miami Dolphins going 6-10.
The Dolphins that high, bro?
I think that they're going to have some upset wins. I think they
Mitch.
What
uh,
happened?
Higher than Mitch.
I think they do get one on the Patriots in Miami.
We always do. That's like a
They beat Cincinnati. They split against the Jets, I think. They beat both LA teams.
Okay.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all their wins. That's all 6 wins. Yeah.
Eddie.
Oh, Busboy's got to
I know
interject.
you made a mistake and accidentally put the Dolphins instead of the Patriots. I know you got messed up. I'll forgive you for that. So yeah.
Oh.
All right, so let me get to the top 9 now.
So wait, you said 7 and
number-
9 for the Finns?
No, it's 6-10.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and these are not my final predictions. Like I said, once I get into like the final stretch, then I go crazy. I go insane for that the last week before the season starts. I go insane with my picks. Number 9, I have the Vegas Raiders going 7-9. This is going to probably change. I think they're going to lose more games, but as of now, I think at where they're at right now, I think their 7-9 seems fair. I don't want to give them 8-8. I don't want to give them 9-7. I don't want to give them 6-10. I think 7-9 is reasonable. And at number 8, this may shock some people. Just missing the playoffs by 1 game is the Denver Broncos at 7-9.
Oh, this man has
With
the
a-
Pats in the playoffs.
I can't believe
Yeah.
you put the Pats over the Broncos.
Let's go.
I don't think I think these receivers are going to be good for the Broncos, but I just think at a rookies level, I don't think they're ready yet for the NFL. They're going to have to go against a lot of good corners, especially the Chargers. That's why I think the Chargers do get 1 win against the Broncos this year, and they have a lot of games against they play a lot of great teams with a lot of good corners. So I think they're just gonna have a little problem there along the road. But 7-9 is reasonable for them. But at number 7, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers going 8-8, making the playoffs as the 7 seed. I think
Plus
Pittsburgh
not
is a
gonna
very
like that.
evened out. I think Pittsburgh's a pretty even team.
They're making the playoffs at 8-8.
Yeah, 8-8.
Wow.
They make the
Okay.
playoffs.
Interesting.
Yep, because
The
everyone.
AFC.
Listen, I think they get a few upset.
Conference.
I think they lose a few upset games, but they win a few upset games. That's why, hence they even out. I think week 1 is a big game. They lose. They play the Giants week 1. I think the Giants.
No.
It's a Monday night
Saquon's
game.
going off for the best defense in the league, according to these guys.
Yeah, listen, Saquon's gonna go off, Daniel Jones is going to prove his doubters wrong. It's a Monday night game, MetLife Stadium. I just think that the Giants win. And listen, Giants aren't making the playoffs. I'm going to say that right now, but they get a few upset wins as well. And I think the one win that gets them into the playoffs is a Week 12 Thursday night game against the Ravens, and I think Pittsburgh upsets Baltimore at Week 12.
This is my thing. I don't think that's much of an upset because I think a lot of people believe that they're going to split. I think that's the general.
A lot of people that I talk to don't think they're going to split.
A
lot of people
the fact
with Baltimore.
I don't understand how people.
I think Pittsburgh's going to split with both the Browns and the Ravens.
Did I have that? I had that too, yeah.
What's people thinking for the Ravens sweeping the Steelers? Because the Steelers have like the best defense, like for Lamar Jackson.
Not versus Saquon though.
Not versus Saquon, no. I don't know. I just think that I don't know why. I just think that that's the case. I think Giants just win Week 1. It's just going to be one of those bizarre Monday night games that the Giants upset. And there's another Monday and before I say anything else, there's another Monday night game they play at MetLife this year. Watch out for that. Anyway, so at 9-7, the 6th seed is the Cleveland Browns, going 9-7. Okay. Cleveland, and again, they wait, do I have it?
You believe?
Yep, I believe they will upset the Ravens. They will split against the Ravens this year on the Monday night game as well. There are 2 games, though, towards the end of the season where I think they may start to decline a little bit. And those games are against the Giants and the Jets. I think that back-to-back at MetLife, I think it's going to be tough for them, especially playing against the Giants at MetLife again. I think the Browns lose both games. And forget about the Browns right now. Let's go to our top 5 teams. Number 5 is a guy that just signed with the New England Patriots. He's going to lead them to a 10-6 record and the 5th seed. Cameron Newton.
Stop. I'm leaving.
The Lion.
They start off 0-2. They start off 1-3.
Oh.
They win. The only game they win in the first 4 weeks is against the Vegas Raiders. They lose to Miami. They actually have Miami sweeping New England. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
I couldn't take that. I'd rather the Patriots just straight up suck than them lose to Miami twice.
Listen, I think
that, bro.
Listen, I think the first. I just think.
Unbearable.
Listen, but here's the thing. That's just what I listen. 10-6 is still good.
Fair enough. No, but I do agree with your premise here. I feel like the Patriots are going to be way better at the end of the year.
I think so too. I think they're gonna because, like I said, this is why they lose to Miami in the first week. They gotta adjust to Cam Newton being there. It's a totally different system.
It's rather going to be. It's going
to be like a Tim Tebow type offense with the offensive coordinator there.
To Tim Tebow.
It's rather going to be straight up fire from the first game with Cam Newton, or it's going to take a while. It's not going to be in between.
I think it's going to take a while. I think it's just going to take a while.
I think New England is going to beat a lot of the lower teams on their schedule, but I don't see Cam being able to get it done against the better teams.
Yeah, because you're a Cam hater, though. You don't like
Listen,
Cam.
here's the wins that I have. They beat Vegas. They beat Denver. They beat San Francisco. They beat the Jets. They beat Baltimore.
Yes.
They beat Baltimore. I could see that happen. I think they beat Baltimore. They beat Houston. They beat both LA teams. They beat Buffalo on a Monday night game. Okay. And they beat because this is when the crunch time happens where they need to make the playoffs. And then week 17, of course, they're going to beat the Jets to secure them going to the playoffs.
They'll beat the Jets 35-7. That's already confirmed. Yeah. We don't need to worry about that.
That's what I think. Easily. They're not going to beat Seattle. Seattle's going to win that game.
No, I think they're going to lose. This is the thing.
Sunday night, Seattle's home.
They play Seattle, Baltimore, Kansas City, San Francisco, and they play Buffalo, right? Those are the hardest games they play. They're going to win at least one of those games.
I have them winning. I have them winning 2 of them.
Yeah, I know.
They
You have
beat
them.
up-
You have them losing to some teams that they probably like shouldn't lose to. Then, like Miami won like twice.
The best team.
Yeah, Miami twice, Kansas City, Buffalo once, and Arizona, and I think that's it. I think Arizona goes in and upsets. And then after that, I think that's it. Yeah, 2, 3. Yeah, that's it.
All
You
right.
guys done talking about some fake story?
Can I just say,
Busboy is rattled, man.
why do
It's
people
good.
think Hopkins won the Gilmore matchup even though he had like 450?
It's
Because
just
every
Durcant. The
single
only
catch-
person on
every
earth that
single
thinks
catch
that
he
is
had-
Kevin Durcant.
Yeah.
Every single catch he had was significant to the game.
I get
Yeah.
it, but he had 50 yards.
All
He had big
four of
catches.
them.
All of his catches were big. All of them.
So
mattered.
the best receiver in the league, according to Busboy, had 50 yards versus the number one corner, and he won the
When
matchup.
he also had
barely
clutch
top
catches in the
five.
Super Bowl then.
Barely top 5.
Isn't that wait? Isn't that like bad for a number one receiver in the modern NFL to only have 50 yards?
Not against the best corner.
Okay,
in the
wait.
league,
What's his average though?
Did you see him shadow Amari
I
Cooper?
I think it's like
He was for
70 or
yards.
80.
I was at that game. He
honestly don't
shut
know
them
how-
down.
Yeah.
I
He
honestly
shadowed Amari
don't know
Cooper, who's
how
like a
Hopkins
top 10
made
receiver
All
for
Pro
0
last
catches.
year.
I
Yeah.
think 50 yards, like the fact that 50 yards is considered, a lot of people consider that now just shows how great Gilmore's season was. But my boy Devontae Parker had to light him up in week 17.
Yeah, we get it. We've heard this before.
Yeah. Can I do my predictions now? I just had to kill a freaking
Eddie's pissed. We're interrupting him
No,
every 10 seconds.
I'm not pissed at all. I
This
get
guy
it.
made
It's just,
this
I'm
guy made
messing
an
around.
intro song and everything. So let him finish his prediction. We'll
And I
react
just
after.
I just somehow killed the thing. You can react to it. I don't care. It's just I'm just messing around.
He single-handedly drove Nick Gill out of the BLV community.
I single-handedly did that.
Oh,
Yep.
then you're the MVP. You're the
Yep.
MVP.
And I made 2 people quit the league. I made Busboy cry in the game.
I didn't cry.
I have the video, bro.
I
I was gonna slide. I have the video.
I would have sounded like that the whole rest of the stream. I didn't sound like that.
And then you go on for like a 15-minute rant after the game. It was like a 15 or 20-minute rant, and it was the funniest thing. I started laughing so hard.
Hey, if there's any team that I'd give Gilmore to, it's the Lions, because supposedly that's my favorite team. So there you go.
Yeah.
What about the Bucks? They need corner
They
help.
need him because they have Jamel Dean.
Yeah, they do. Jamel Dean is irrelevant. He looks like
No, I want that. I want that sound bite so I can use it on my soundboard.
No, I put that in the Busboy disc.
That's what I need. I need a soundboard so I can get these sounds on here.
Yeah, just like what's his name from
I need one of somebody calling Ultra a girl so I can just press it.
AT&T. I gotta get like a funny like accent going for that.
Yeah.
Kevin Durcant distract.
everyone loves me though, so I don't. Have
I just need a sound effect of Durcant just eating.
Yeah, just like Fred Norris from the Howard Stern show, just doing all the sound bites.
All right.
Yeah. So my number
Diss
4.
track, too. Putting that out there.
Yeah. I made the diss track to Busboy as a joke because I beat him in the one game, and then just Nick Gill in general. Like that Nick Gill was just actually very catchy. It's just a very catchy song. Like I don't know why. Even my mom was like, "You gotta admit that is kind of catchy." I'm like, "Yeah."
You gotta make a Trevor diss track.
Trevor who?
I ended his career. That
I
was
don't even know who
hilarious.
Trevor is. I wasn't here for that.
Drove this man out of the.
So wait, you're at number 4 now?
Yep, I'm at number 4.
Okay.
10-6. The Indianapolis Colts. They start off at 5-1, but then they start to plummet a little late. They lose
Okay.
to they have a tough schedule. They lose to Detroit, Baltimore, Tennessee on a Thursday night, Green Bay, They beat Tennessee. They beat Houston. Vegas wins. Indy wins. Indy wins. And then Indy wins. Indy beats Pittsburgh, and then Indy wins again. So, yeah, that's why they're 10-6. I think they have a. It's the division's not that good. I mean, everyone overhypes the division, the AFC South, but it's anyone's division, really. I mean, listen, except for the Jags, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
except for the Jags.
No,
it's
I get you. I'm just like party.
Listen, Madden had the Jags winning the division for 6-10. They're literally 6-10. The Jags went 6-10 and won the division in Madden. I was just shocked. And they won the Super Bowl somehow. So I don't know.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if the team that won the division was 9-7.
Yeah, it's kind of like the 2010 NFC West, the 7-9 Seahawks. Wouldn't be surprised. So, yep. And at number 3, we have our Madden 21 cover athlete, Lamar Jackson, and the Baltimore Ravens at 12-4.
Ooh.
And the 4 losses are at Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At New England, at Pittsburgh, and at Cleveland.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that.
That's all 4 of their losses. Yep. Number 3, and this is just process of elimination, the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs at 13-3, which leaves the Buffalo Bills as
goodness.
The Buffalo Bills.
14-2. Yeah.
14-2. Holy guacamole.
They lose to Seattle and they lose to New England.
At least they lose to New England. I can take that. That's cool.
Listen, they upset Kansas. Listen, they upset Kansas City on a Thursday night game at home.
Buffalo your 1 seed?
Buffalo is my 1 seed for now. Like I said, it's not the final one.
Again, I could see this happening, but I just don't know if I can put them ahead of Baltimore and Kansas City.
That's why I don't know. That's
Baltimore.
It could happen. It could happen, but it could happen realistically. But at the same time, it probably won't. Like I said, Kansas City. The 3 losses Kansas City has this year. They lose to Baltimore on week 3 on that Monday night game in Baltimore. They lose to Buffalo and they lose to Denver. And that's just to
the Chargers.
I don't think they lose to the Chargers. I think the Chargers secondary's older, a little slower, and Tyreek Hill can just run all over them, along with Mecole Hardman. So now let me get into my I got my NFC predictions whenever you're ready. And the last seed is bias. You're gonna say it's bias, but
Here we go.
have some points to back this up.
Okay.
And I just think they're not going to be good. Some people think they're going to be good. Some people think they're going to be average, and not a lot of people think they're going to be bad. But I just think they're going to be bad. The 16th seed.
Before you start, can I say about Patrick Mahomes real quick? Because I've been seeing a lot of people say that he is, when comparing him to Russell Wilson, a lot of people think Mahomes is like on a different level, on a much higher level than Russell Wilson. Like he's way better. Dude,
I think
anybody who actually watches the sport doesn't think that.
No one.
I love Mahomes.
So like,
Nicholas Gill understand that
2 totally different quarterbacks.
The best receiving tight end in the league. Amazing wide receivers. He has arguably the best tackle in the league. He has Andy Reid as his play caller. I'm not trying to take anything away from Mahomes, but do people not realize the situation he was set up in, and that Russell Wilson, he plays hero ball almost every single week for the Seahawks. He bails them out on a lot of games.
They had a way better defense. They have a way better defense. I can tell you that much.
To make do with deck chairs at guard.
Kansas City defense actually played well.
Listen, but I'd rather any day of the week. I'd rather have the Seattle defense between 2012 and 2015 over the Kansas City Chiefs defense any day of the week.
Well, I'm talking about right now.
Wait. Oh, right now.
What? What is
You
going
got me
on
thinking
here?
about this one.
And
Apparently-
people also say that Wilson isn't better at anything than Mahomes, and I just don't think that these people have ever watched the Seahawks game in their life. But
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that up because I think that people forget that Mahomes went into literally the perfect situation for any quarterback.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That-
Well,
But, like,
I mean,
even-
he is the
even,
best
like,
quarterback, but he also has the best supporting cast offensively, and it's not even really a discussion.
Like even
Yeah.
even if you gave like Matt Stafford, who we know isn't very good, that's
Oh, here we go.
Here we go again with the Matt Stafford stuff.
Now,
Can
how
I get
about we
my
use-
NFC
how-
predictions?
How about you use Matt Ryan?
Who is it?
Let's use Matt.
Yeah, Matt Ryan. Yeah,
Okay.
Matt Ryan. Yeah,
it's actually one.
Daddy Long Neck. Yeah, Daddy Long Neck. Okay.
Long like bad.
At least he didn't blow it 28-3. Okay.
All those playoff wins Matt Stafford has.
I think Matt Stafford has a superior
All those-
haircut. So.
Listen, and all those voice cracks that you have. All those voice cracks that you have.
I got the best haircut in the building. But I just wanted to point that out. Mahomes went.
I gotta get my hair done.
And
I take my hair seriously.
You got to get your hair
And
done
I-
before the
How did we
music
go from
video,
your
bro.
Predictions to hair.
Oh yeah.
I've also heard people saying that he's the more valuable to his team than Russell Wilson, and I
Are
just
they
think that
insane?
completely. Yeah, I think.
Did they
that's
watch Matt
insane.
Moore win a bunch of games last year?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Matt Moore went 2-1, and he beat a playoff team, the Vikings, and he almost beat another playoff team, the Packers. It's
Durcant,
just-
you remember that one 49ers fan that said Wilson was better than Jackson just because he was more mobile?
Oh, yeah, he said Jax was. Yeah, I destroyed him. But anyway, Eddie, go ahead.
Wait, what?
Yeah, NFC.
Okay. Now,
Number 16, the
everyone-
Redskins. I see it coming right now.
it's a team that has an R in their name, but it's not them. It's the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh
The
my god.
Ram.
With
I
Sean
don't-
McVay.
I don't think they're gonna have the season people think they're gonna have.
I
They go-
don't think
Jalen
Jared Goff
Ramsey.
is that bad.
I don't think he's good at.
Bad, but
He is bad.
Jared Goff is garbage. He's trash. He's a bust. I don't care what anybody says. He will only look good ever because of Sean McVay and other things around him, but he's garbage. But
Listen, I watched Mitch's video on the Ram. His first video on the Rams schedule prediction. That's how I subscribed to him, and everything he said I agreed with, except that they had a better record overall. I agree
I
that
have them
listen,
6-10.
but they're going 3-13. But at first they lose to Dallas. They lose to Dallas week 1. I think it's
Fair
a
enough.
Sunday night game. Dallas wins. They have to fly to the East Coast to play 2 straight games, and then I think they fly back to the West for practice, and they go all the way back. So that's a jet lag right there. They play 2 hard games, Philly and Buffalo. Then they have to fly back for a Sunday night game against the Giants. I think the Giants win that game. I think Saquon just runs all over that defense.
I
They
don't know
lost.
about that.
That's
I think the
a,
Rams
that,
can
that,
beat them.
that's a flip flop game. That's a flip flop game. You don't know. I think the Rams could win.
Giants in the playoffs or something.
Oh no, the Giants are not in the Giants are not in the playoffs. No, I already said that earlier. They're not. Then they have to fly all the way back out to the East Coast to play the Redskins, which I think the Redskins are going to win that game in an upset game. That's one of those upset games. Then they have to go back to play San Francisco in a night game, which San Francisco is going to win. They start off 0-6, and then they stay in the California area, and they play They play Chicago, which they'll get their first win. Sorry, Nick Gill, your team loses to a.
He's not
to an
awake. It's
0-6
past his bedtime.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally. Then they have to fly all the way back out to the East Coast to play the guy who was the defensive coordinator for the team that beat them in the Super Bowl, which is going to be an upset win. Miami beats LA. Then they have a bye. Then they play Seattle. Seattle wins that game. Then they have to go all the way back out to the East Coast again on a Monday night to get an extra day. But you play Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. Buccaneers win that game. Then you come back out. San Francisco wins because they're going to start fighting for their playoff lives. You play Arizona the next week. Arizona wins that game. You have a shortened week. You play New England. I think New England they have that playoff push. That's when they beat the Rams and the Bills. New England wins. They play the Jets. The Jets win. Not the Jets. The Rams beat the Jets. Then week 16, they go to Seattle. Seattle wins that. And then week 17, Arizona is already in the playoffs or whatever. They lose, they're in whatever. They rest Murray. They rest all their guys.
So technically,
and
they're winning 2 games.
No, yeah, technically they're winning 2 games. I just don't think there's a lot of flip-flop games. You don't know, but I just don't think
they'll be Seattle at least once, or Arizona once, or San Fran once.
No, they beat Arizona once. Yeah, I have them beating Arizona once.
Okay.
I think that you're underestimating how great Aaron Donald is and
Jalen Ramsey.
That's their only 2 good players,
bro. That's all you need.
Like I think that like those
Jalen Ramsey's gonna.
good enough.
Jalen Ramsey, you don't know. As a Jags fan, he's so unpredictable. You don't know. One little thing can set him off.
And then McVay, bro.
McVay is good for like 4 wins, and Goff is good for like.
That's.
Goff is good for minus 4 wins.
I don't think one player is going to make them win games. I think the only thing one player could do is make you lose games. It's a team effort. That's just my philosophy on winning games.
I don't really see the lack of talent. Like I mean, they're not as good as they were, but like if you look at their roster, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad, but still, I just don't. But also, it's just the conditions of the games they're playing in. It's, every other week you're flying out to the East Coast, you're going this and that, and then you're playing tough opponents. I just don't see them doing that good. I mean, listen, 3-13 is very low for them.
Yeah.
Do I think they could go 6-10? Yeah, totally. I can see them going 6-10, but this is just the lowest point I think they can get to, and that's why I just had them there at 3-13 for now. I know people.
Your prediction.
Like I said, it's gonna definitely change before the season starts. It's not going to be at the end of the day 3-13. But as I see them right now, at this stage with their roster, I wouldn't be surprised if Goff gets benched halfway through the season, and then there's a whole big fiasco there. At 4-12, I have the Carolina Panthers at 4-12, the 15th seed. I think Carolina is decent. Listen, they went 5-1 or something like that when they had Kyle Allen.
Their quarterback.
That was just their quarterback. Now they have Teddy Bridgewater, who I think is very, very underrated. People think, now that he's in
I don't agree.
Carolina, it's too bad. I just think that he could win some games. He's not going to be the second coming of Jesus, but, he's going to win maybe a few games. That's why I think maybe 4 wins is reasonable for them. I mean, yeah, they could beat Washington. They could beat I have them beating Atlanta once on a Thursday night game. Yep. I have them beating the Chargers. I just think that's going to be one of those wacky games. I had them somehow beating Denver one game. I don't know why I had them beating Denver. I just think for some reason they win. And then they beat Washington, so that's their 4 wins. And at number 14, Nick Gill, if you're still up, you should be going to bed because your team is going 4-12. Yeah. You're not going no 6. You're not going no 6-10. You're not going no playoff team. You lose week 1.
He said 10-6, right?
I think he said 10-6. Yeah. Listen, you beat the Giants, which could be a flip-flop game. You don't know. You beat Carolina, another flip-flop game. You beat Houston, which also could be a flip-flop game, not totally. And you beat Minnesota on a Monday night game, which I think is probably going to happen. 5-11, Ultra, don't kill me here. Atlanta's going 5-11.
Oof.
If he's still here, I think he's mad at me.
Yeah, I actually have to go. My phone's about to die out. So.
Oh, yeah. I have you beating Chicago,
Peace.
Carolina, Atlanta, Chargers, and the Raiders. Every other game they lose. 6-10, we have the Minnesota Vikings going 6-10. I think losing Stephon Diggs is going to be big for them. Same with the Houston Texans losing DeAndre Hopkins. Listen, the Texans have more depth when it comes to receivers. The Vikings have depth too, but it's just a younger depth, and I just don't think they're gonna bounce back. The one big win they do have though is beating New Orleans in New Orleans on the Christmas game. That's the big game. I think they're gonna win.
I would laugh so hard if that happened.
I think it may. I think it may happen. I think it's the same thing with like Tennessee and Baltimore.
That's my
That could
prediction.
happen.
And I have New Orleans 12. That's the loss.
That's one of the losses. I think Minnesota is. It's just gonna be one of those games. At 7-9 and the 10 seed and the last of the under 500 teams, there were no 8-8 teams. Are the New York Giants going 7-9? Big wins.
They're gonna be better than the Falcons. I'm done.
Wait, where are the Redskins?
For 5-11. Oh, I didn't even say the Redskins. I didn't even say them.
Like, are they 9-7?
No, I skipped on the Redskins. No. New name, new logo, Super Bowl, here we come. They start off 0-4. They beat the Rams in that game. They win. They upset Dallas in a game. They beat the Giants in a game. They beat Cincinnati in a game. And they beat Philly in one of the last games. Because I think Philly's just going to choke. I think somehow Wentz gets hurt, and Jalen Hurts is just too young to lead his team to a playoff berth or a playoff win. That's why they're not making the playoffs, the Eagles. So, yeah, Giants 7-9. Their biggest win, their three biggest wins are Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Tampa Bay. I think they upset Tampa Bay. Giants, with Eli, without Eli, whoever, regardless, they always have these upset wins at home on Monday night games or on primetime games. I just think that's just the case there with them. They beat Arizona, and then they beat the Redskins. They beat the Rams. They beat the 49ers. Because I don't think the 49ers are going to have a good start to the season, but they finish off strong, but it's just not enough. Philly is my 9th seed. They're going 9-7. They're going 9-7. I think they have a good middle stretch of the season, but fall apart in the end. Of course, they lose their last 5 games. They start off 9-2, and they just fall apart at the end. I said, Philly just always falls apart at the end of the season, especially if Wentz gets hurt, which I think is the case. Losing Brandon Brooks is going to be huge for them, having to protect them. Same thing happened when you lose Jason Peters. I don't remember if Jason Peters got hurt before the Carson Wentz injury, because if that's the case, I think that's how Wentz will get hurt, because the O-line is going to be hurt. They're getting older. They're going to start to decline a little bit. You don't have Jason Peters back. All you have is basically Lane Johnson and
we're still
Kelsey.
live, Gregory.
Yeah, him too. And the receiving core is good, but they're not the best. I mean, they did improve on that because, listen, anything's better than what they had last year. Everyone says that the Jalen Reagor, whatever his name is, was a really good draft pick, but I think the steal was when they got Marquise Goodwin because they need a lot of speed on that team. Mm-hmm. And Darius Slay, I just don't think he makes a big impact for them year one. Maybe year two once he gets more into the system, but I just don't think he makes a huge statement year one. And that's why I got them going 9-7. Only a game out of the playoffs, but at the 8 seed, 9-7 are the San Francisco 49ers, who start off 0-3, go 3-3,
wow,
go 3-5, 5-5, 6-5, 7-6,
oof,
and then go 9-7. I just think they just have a bunch of games where it can go either way. I think the hangover just gets in the way of everything, especially in those 3 opening games. They could easily split either one with the Giants or the Jets. I just don't think I could see that happen, and especially it's like with the Rams, they have to go all the way back out to San Francisco, then come all the way back. The jet lag's going to be pretty bad for them, and I just don't like those kind of games where it's like you play in the same arena twice, thinking, oh, you're going to stay there, but really you go back, So anyway, it's just that I think Mostert's going to leave. I think they're going to end up trading him. I think Garoppolo is just going to have one of those off years where it's like, okay, it's like a Matt Ryan type year. You blow the Super Bowl.
Classic Matt Ryan type year.
Yeah. Like I said, I think this team's going to be decent, but not super decent. Jimmy Garoppolo's going to have a year like Matt Ryan. I mean, they went 10-6 the year after they went to the Super Bowl, but still, I just don't think that.
Was that the year that Matt Ryan had like 8 receptions like off the receiver's hands and into the
I think
DB's
so.
hands?
Yeah, I think
I
so.
don't know.
Yeah,
You would know better than us.
yeah.
2017 is, if that's the year you're talking about, then that happened.
Yeah, it was. And let's get into our playoff teams. The number 7 seed at 10-6. There are 2 10-6 teams in the playoffs this year, but the number 7 seed are the Arizona Cardinals. I think they're going to be. I think they're not going to be living up to the hype as some people think they are. Like, oh, they're going to go like 13-3. They're going to win the Super Bowl. I don't think that's the case right away. I think they're one of those teams that are on the rise. I think they're going to be on the rise, but not fully. And like I said, it could either be Arizona or Philly. I think somebody earlier had the Cardinals beating Philly in that Week 15 matchup. So do I, because if that's the case, Philly makes the playoffs, Arizona misses the playoffs, and San Francisco remains the 8 seed regardless. So that's the biggest game of the year right there. And home field advantage, a 4:05 game. I think it could be flexed. That's going to be the case for Arizona. They win. And at 10-6, the 6th seed in the playoffs, I have the New Orleans Saints going 10-6, 8-4 in the conference.
Interesting.
Biggest loss of the year is to Minnesota, and I think they split against the Buccaneers. I think they split.
Okay.
They lose to Green Bay. I'm just looking at some of the games here. They lose to San Francisco. They lose to Kansas City, and that's it. So that's the case there. That's what I think is going to happen with the Saints. They go 10-6. I don't know about championships yet. I think they may be one and done. I don't know. I have to see the brackets and the schedule and all that, but that's who I have. And at the 5th seed, Mitch, you will love me for this. At 11-5, the Detroit Lions.
There we go.
Yes. They win week 1 against Nick Gill's Bears.
Oh, that's easy.
But
Listen, they start off. Listen, what the heck? They start 1-3.
A lamb?
I don't know. CD Lamb's in the building. They start off 1-3.
Okay.
They easily could start off 1-4. I listen, as a Jags fan, I want them to beat Detroit. I think they could beat Detroit, but I just realistically they're not going to beat Detroit. I think Detroit somehow wins that game like 27-20, 27-24, and like the weirdest thing ever.
Always lucky.
Yeah, totally. And then they go on this big stretch. They win after starting 1-3. They go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They go 7-1 their next 8 games.
They're really gonna beat the Falcons. That's not happening.
And they start off 1-3, and they lose 2 more games the rest of the year.
Who do they play in that stretch? Do you know?
Yep,
they play the Falcons in one of the games.
Yeah, they play Jacksonville, Atlanta, Indianapolis. They lose to Minnesota. I think they split with Minnesota. Washington, they beat. Detroit. Detroit. Oh wait, no, I'm looking at Detroit.
They play themselves.
Carolina. No, the Lion and the Lion and the Lions.
Oh my!
Carolina.
The entire Lions team.
Carolina, Houston, Chicago, Green Bay, Tennessee. They upset Tampa Bay.
Okay.
And they beat Minnesota.
I actually have them upsetting Tampa Bay.
I think that's one of those games where they upset. Listen, they almost beat Kansas City last year, but that was just it was a disaster. Listen, they were great until Stafford got hurt. Listen,
I honestly think Tampa is going to choke the number 1 seed. I think they'll lose their last 2.
Choke.
Listen, they're not going to. Yeah, I don't think they're going to win.
Matt Ryan playing quarterback for the Bucks.
Yeah, maybe Blake Bortles or Gardner Minshew.
Matt Ryan has a playoff win, but
hey, listen, Nick Gale, if you're still in here, my prediction: I think the Jags will trade Gardner Minshew when they get that first pick to the Bears.
For Eddie Jackson.
No, not for Eddie Jackson, but I just think that. And I just realized That's why people thought I was biased because the Rams and the Jags are the two worst teams. The Jags get the top 2 picks. But that's like I said, I don't know. I think the Jags. That's why I think the Jags.
why. Ah, I
No,
see.
I
Mitch
really
is
think
caught
they're.
on.
No, I caught on because I totally forgot. I was like, they're being biased. I'm like, why am I biased? And then I realized, oh yeah, we still have their pick. But so I don't think the Rams are going to be good either way. Going back to that, I don't think the Rams will be
So
good.
you can get the top 2 picks.
No, listen,
be
it's possible.
wild.
It's possible. It's
And
possible.
then
we
they
could have
would
2
trade the second pick for like a bunch of crap because the team would want a quarterback.
No, you know what I think?
Who's the quarterback?
Listen, we may get 2 of the top 5 picks. I think the Rams are going to be one of the top 5 worst teams. Like I said, I don't know where they're going to be along in the top 5
I could
worst
see
teams.
that. I don't know about second worst.
I don't know. Like I said, this is just what I think right now. It's going to change. Listen, it changed. I thought the Patriots were going 5-11 before Cam Newton got there, and now they're 10-6. So
there we go. So what's
and
your?
then I think the Jags. And then I think if the Jags let's say if they do get the top 2, they get that left tackle, they get rid of Cam Robinson, get him out of here. I'm done with Cam Robinson. He's no wonder why he fell so much. But the number 4 seed, the 11-5 4 seed is the Dallas Cowboys. They win the division. I said this earlier in the podcast or the live stream, whatever you want to call this. Dak Prescott's gonna ball out this year. He wants that money. He's gonna do whatever it takes. He's gonna get Zeke in on it. He's gonna get the whole team in on this. When they do their players only meetings, he wants to get paid, and they're gonna rally behind him, and they're gonna go 11-5. Their biggest losses, though, they lose to Seattle and Cleveland. They lose to Washington and Philly, and they lose to Baltimore. Other than that, all the other games they win, and that's hence they're 11-5. The number 3 seed is the greatest, in my opinion, the greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady, going 12-4 and being the 3 seed for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I like
the 4 loss. I think that's accurate. I think their 4 losses are against New Orleans, New York, Detroit, and who was the last team? Wow, they have a very late bye week.
Kansas City.
Oh yeah, Kansas City. Because I'm on playoff predictors.
They're not sweeping Atlanta. Come on.
Yeah, listen, I'm on playoff predictors, and the 2 teams are in red, so I could not even tell for a second.
Has Tom Brady ever lost to Atlanta?
I don't think so. He lost to
He will
Jacksonville
this
once.
year.
I was so
Week
happy.
17.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah, when they're resting for the first round bye.
I know when the Bucks are 7-8 and the Bucks are 11-4, we're gonna win.
No, they have to because they're fighting for the 2 seed and they're fighting to not be the 4 seed. So they're gonna play Brady that game.
There you go.
So
you heard it here first from Eddie. All right.
Yep.
Is Brady
Number
really
that-
good enough to beat Mahomes? So I don't know.
Kansas City beats them. Number 2. The number 2 seed, and y'all already know who the number 1 seed is going to be after I say this. 13-3 Seattle Seahawks, which means the Green Bay Packers will be the 1 seed in the playoffs.
Oh my!
I'm riding.
What is your logic here?
So the 2
Jordan
teams
Love. I'm kidding now.
Questionable about to put in the playoffs. You have as the top 2 teams.
I don't know why people doubt Seattle. I don't know why people doubt.
I don't doubt Seattle.
I don't know why people don't think they're going to be that good. People don't think Green Bay is going to be good. I don't know why. Listen, everyone was so good about Green Bay until they drafted Jordan Love. In my opinion, I know a lot about Green Bay. My teacher is a diehard Packer fan. He goes to a bunch of games, so trust me, I watch them a lot because I have something to talk about with him come back to school, the next day. So shout out to my boy, Mr. Staggs. I don't know. I doubt you're watching this, but what's up? I think that
that was loud.
Yeah, no. I think the Green Bay Packers, ever since they drafted Love, they started to get doubted on. I think they have a very good team. The only kryptonite was basically the 49ers. If they didn't lose to the 49ers that one game in the regular season, it was a huge blowout. I think it was like 42-8 or something like that. It was a very bad game, which deteriorated them come playoff time, which made them have that bad first half. They started to come back in the second half, but I just think Green Bay is one of those teams where it's like they're going to have a strong regular season, but I don't think they win. I don't think they win in the playoffs that much. I think they win maybe like 1 or 2 games.
So they're going to be
Or,
like
or
the
one
Saints.
game, or technically one. Yeah, they're going to be the Saints. Technically one because I don't have them going to the Super Bowl, but the Seattle Seahawks are 13-3. Their 3 losses are Philadelphia, San Francisco Week 17, and Arizona Week 7. Other than that, they win all their games. They beat Atlanta Week 1, New England Week 2, Dallas Week 3, Miami Week 4. They start off 5-0 actually, and they end up going what is it, 8-1 I think, and then they start losing a little bit towards the end, but they come around at 13-3. And Green Bay, the only 2 losses for Green Bay this year are Tampa Bay and San Francisco.
Wow.
I think they're going to beat New Orleans.
Man, I just can't see it. I can't.
I don't. I think it's going to be
You
one. It's
hate
going to be like.
Rodgers.
No, I just think. Listen, I think it's going to be one of those San Francisco Saints type games where it's comes down to the last minute. It comes down to whoever has the ball last, and
Mitch, is this,
I think that's the case here. I think they sweep Minnesota, they sweep Detroit, they sweep Chicago, of course.
sweep Detroit.
Listen, just because you're getting swept, and this goes for any sport, just because you get swept or you lose like in 5 games or whatever the case is, playoffs, regular season, whatever, doesn't mean that you were terrible in those games.
Yeah.
Look
obviously.
at
Oh yeah, the Lions should have won both games last year, and they got swept.
yeah, they got swept, but they're very close games. Doesn't mean that just because they get swept by the
Like-
Packers this year doesn't mean that they're gonna be
Like the
terrible. It could be
Bills-Patriots
overtime game. Yeah, the Bills
Patriots.
swept them, but they were very close games. That's why, like I
don't know
say,
if the Patriots were necessarily the better team in either of the games.
listen, Josh Allen got hurt in the one game, and the Patriots just had a better home.
Very close.
Yeah, and it's just home field comes down at the end of the day. I always think, home field plays a very crucial role in a bunch of games this year, and being situations as well. Like people were saying, oh, why you have the Giants beating Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, and Cleveland? 2 of them are primetime games, and they're at MetLife. I just think that those games, I just think the intensity is going to be there. I think Daniel Jones has a lot to prove this year. I think Saquon has proved a lot in the last 2 years, but he wants more to prove. He wants to be the best running back in the league, and they're just going to do that. But like I said, those 2 losses, it's a Sunday night. It's a Sunday afternoon game. Actually, it's 4:25, and then a Thursday night game against San Francisco. So that's why I think going against San Francisco is going to be a little bad. But what are you going to do? And so basically, the 1 seed for the AFC, if you're joining late, is the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills, number 2, Kansas City, number 3, Baltimore, number 4, Indianapolis, number 5, New England, number 6, Cleveland, and number 7, Pittsburgh. And just missing the playoffs are the Denver Broncos and Vegas Raiders by 1 game. And for the NFC, number 1, Green Bay, number 2, Seattle, number 3, Tampa Bay, number 4, Dallas, number 5, Detroit, number 6, New Orleans, and number 7, Arizona. And the 2 teams missing the playoffs by 1 game are the San Francisco 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles. Yay.
There it is. The predictions. Long awaited. All right. So those are our predictions right now from everyone of the patrons on the Bottom Line View. Hope you guys enjoyed this late night chat of the NFL. We covered a lot of stuff and we covered a lot of topics, and we're not done because probably tomorrow I'll have a video tomorrow I'm not sure what the topic is going to be. I know that one of my next topics is probably going to be front seven rankings, so that will probably be tomorrow or Sunday. So check that out when it comes out. Thanks for staying up late with us. For
Wait,
Mitch.
can I say one thing?
No, you can't. What do you want to say?
So Turtle joined Patreon for
Oh, here we
MT
go.
versus Julio.
Oh no.
You scared? That's why you won't buy it. And Mitch and me may do a Ryan versus Stafford one in the future as well.
Yeah, so
Yep.
guys, definitely subscribe to Patreon, $3 a month, and you can get all the exclusive content. I can't speak because it's late. And also, you get to join these chats. So if you want to talk football with the boys, then join Patreon. What else? Join Discord if you're not already in there. I know a lot of you are in there, and Discord's been like popping for the last while. I mean, it's been awesome, and the community's been awesome, and the channel's growing because of it. So join Discord. That's also basically an NFL argument all day long, as well as, making fun of your favorite BLVers in there, like Ultra and Busboy, and even
Nick Gill.
Nick Gill especially. And sometimes, we make disses, So
Turtle, Durcant.
We make diss songs, all that other stuff. And Busboy, I got second wind after I had to kill that whatever bug that was. So yeah, I'm gonna be out for a while.
And does Nick Gill know shit?
What?
What?
Does Nick Gill know shit?
Oh, yeah.
Nick Gill, oh no shit. Ah!
All right, on that note, see you guys. Peace.
Yep. See y'all.